And we're a little bit early, but that is because the team news has come in early. So we should be live. Are we live? Hello. Are we live on the United Stand? Let me know. I think we are. Yes, we are. We are live. The team news has come in. So let's get straight into that. Of course, you're probably going to get a little bit of echo as well. We are live. So Jose Mourinho has named his Manchester United team, and the good news is that Andres Pereira starts, but it's not quite the team I think we hoped. Andres Pereira playing as more attacking player, with Fellaini playing in the team. So Pereira does start, but it's a midfield three, slightly different to what we were thinking. So I'm just having a quick look. Rojo starts as well. Obviously Pogba starts, Fred starts, but he hasn't gone with the Pereira midfield. To be honest with you, he's chucked Fellaini in there, which, to be honest, I personally think that's part of why Pogba tends to struggle, as far as I'm concerned. But the team it's Romero, Valencia, Jones, Bailly and Rojo at left back. No Luke Shaw, so that's quite interesting. Fred, Fellaini, Pogba as a midfield three. Mata, Lukaku, Andreas. Greenwood has made the bench, which is a big positive. Garner's on the bench. Herrera, Rashford, Lingard and Young. So, and obviously Phil and Grant is the substitute goalkeeper. So, positives to see Mason Greenwood on the bench. I think that's a real big positive for Manchester United. And also we have obviously Pereira starting, which we knew. No Scott McTominay involved at all, which some might say is a bit of a positive. Let me just confirm that before I say it. Yes, no Scott McTominay in the starting lineup either. So there are changes to make to the team news, but to be honest with you, pretty happy with it. He's obviously going to put Fellaini in a more CDM position, I would imagine. We just had a comment there actually from AS7 Alexi saying maybe Fellaini won't play against Liverpool. Well, I suppose that's the issue with all of this team, that they may not play against Liverpool, some of them. But from a Manchester United point of view, it's a decent team. It's a decent team for Manchester United. It's got Pereira in it. It's got Greenwood on the bench. It's got Fred in it. And I do believe that we will be given a good account of ourselves tonight because of the team that we're playing. Fellaini's job, if he is playing that CDM role, his job tonight is very, very simple. Just get the ball and give it. Get Pogba and Fred to express themselves. Also an opportunity for people like Lukaku, hopefully get a bit of, obviously he's going to get a bit of game time, but also get a goal or two. Chris Thompson says no pace. I must admit with you, Chris, I did sort of think that myself. It's like, where is the speed for Pogba and Fred to sort of highlight? But, as I said, tonight there are people in the United fan base who don't like Paul Pogba. So it's quite simple, isn't it? If Pogba has a good game, they're going to say it's all because of Jose Mourinho. If Pogba has a bad game, Mourinho was right. So that's how it's going to go, really, isn't it? So. Look, I'm hopeful that Manchester United will I just want to relax and enjoy this game, because I think the Liverpool game has got so much riding on it for Manchester United. Dylan Walsh, United should buy Pulisic and Koulibaly next summer. Well, that would be a nice pairing to make, wouldn't it? But I've just got to adjust this team news for you, because obviously we get people tuning in saying, that's not the team, Mark. That's not the team. And you're right, it's not the team. But we have to predict a team because we go live before the team news comes out. We've only got actually 2 players wrong, so I'm not too bothered about that. I think we can live with that, can't we? It's simply a little bit of a change, taking Rashford out and Luke Shaw out, which I think opens it up quite interesting for the game against Liverpool, really, because who are the fullbacks going to be? I think that's going to be quite interesting from United point of view. Who will our fullbacks be against Liverpool? Because certainly we can see that Valencia starts today at right back, and he is the captain, and I think many of us expected that. But no Ashley Young, no Dalot, no Luke Shaw. So what is going to be his fullbacks against Liverpool. We'll be building up for that from tomorrow. And to be honest with you, I'm massively excited about that game. But tonight is something a little bit different, isn't it? It's something a little bit different for Manchester United tonight. And let's see what we can do with the opportunity that presents itself in front of us tonight. Because we have got players playing that many of us like. So let's see how we go. Indeedy. My score prediction, to be honest with you, I think we need to be slightly realistic about who we are playing. We're playing Valencia, for people who didn't realise, and they are 15th in the league. And they are 15th in the league, and they're not having a very good season, and they are 4 points off the relegation zone. But quite interestingly, they are also 4 points off the top, off I think either 4th or 6th place. So it works both ways, to be honest with you. And I think that obviously Spanish teams move the ball around quite well. And I thought, ultimately, the Valencia coach is quite right. There's the correct team news for you on the left now. Romero in goal, Bailly and Jones, Rojo, Valencia, Fellaini, Fred, Pogba, Mata, Lukaku and Pereira. Mason Greenwood is on the bench, which for me is a massive, massive positive. I'm really, really pleased about that. So is Garner, but Mason Greenwood is on the bench, and that is absolutely superb. So really, really pleased about that. But from a Valencia point of view, score predictions, I think 3-2 United, says Jaden Kowalski. I think that Manchester United will probably draw this game, and that's not by any means me being ultra negative or anything like that. I just think that Valencia are not a bad side, and I think Manchester United, may struggle in this game, because Valencia did come to our team, come to Old Trafford and play very, very well. So I think that they will have a lot of the ball. I mean, a lot of it depends on what the Valencia lineup is. Batshuayi plays, Mina plays, Kondobia plays, Soler, Pario, Sherchev, Ruben Vizes, Piccini, Dominici, Diakabi. I'm just going to have a quick check about Valencia and their recent results. Let's have a look here. I want to see when Valencia last played a game of football. Okay, so they played Sevilla at the weekend and they drew 1-1. And their lineup was a little bit different, to be honest with you. Banega played. They're basically... Oh, no. I'm looking at the wrong team. I'm looking at Sevilla's team, which is Banega. I always get mixed up. So they have made some. Their centre back pairing, Gary and Gabriel Gaya. Let's have a look at this. So yeah, they're more or less playing their reserves, to be honest with you. Valencia, Coquelin and Parejo. Soler did play. Parejo did play. Kondobia didn't play. Cherchev didn't play. Rodrigo and Mina. Batshuayi and Mina. So a lot of players for them not in their team. To be fair. Savage Boss Blackwell says it was his birthday yesterday. No, Matic was always going to be a positive. Personally think we will play well and have a lot of control of the ball. Mata, Pereira and Fred love having the ball at their feet. Pogba will play more advanced as Wazzy Khan. Yeah, look, I'm not throwing up obstacles here. I like the fact that Pereira's playing, Fred's playing, Pogba's playing. What I'm saying is that let's not pretend that Manchester United, because we're going to play players that we like, are going to turn up to Valencia and win comfortably. That's not what's going to happen, I don't think. I think that Manchester United, Valencia, out Old Trafford, they played us off the park and were quite wasteful. I mean, to be honest with you, let's put our hands up for a second. We're a little bit fortuitous to get through this group. And Arsenal fans want to say Spurs were lucky last night. But actually, over 6 games, if you go through, you deserve it. Some would say Napoli were very unfortunate to be in the Europa League when they're top of the league after 5 games. But in game 6, they dropped to 3rd. But actually, It's over 6 games, and what happens, happens. Manchester United, Valencia coach saying, well, you know, the Fellaini winner late on against Young Boys was a handball. Yeah, it was, but nobody saw it. We got away with it and we qualified. Yes, in Turin, we got very lucky late on, but we still won 2-1. And yes, at Old Trafford, Valencia should have beat us. It was a draw, was it 0-0? Valencia should have beat us, but they didn't. So Valencia can blame themselves, because Valencia drew with Young Boys as well. So we are where we are, and they have what they deserve. But from a Manchester United point of view, I don't think the gap between us and Valencia is actually that big. And I think it might potentially be quite a tough game for United tonight, which is why I'm looking forward to it, because I'm looking forward to seeing how well United do today. The game has not started, no, Eban, it hasn't. What's the point of Fellaini playing, says Jack Coleman? It's the rhetorical question. What's the point in Fellaini, full stop? Jay Coulter says we've been very lucky. Shout out for Felix French, please. It's his birthday tomorrow, says Matthew Wagstaff. There you go. Vandy Candy says, to be fair, we were lucky against Juventus Union Boys. But you know what? Having said that, football's always had an element of luck in it, hasn't it? There's always been an element of luck in football. So, you know, you can't just say, you know, people are always going to say, oh, you were lucky, oh, you were lucky, oh, you were lucky. But there's always going to be an element of luck in football. Otherwise, we may as well all go home. You know, nothing just runs, does it? You know, there's always an element of luck. And United certainly took their luck. And on top of that, I think Jose Mourinho, without doubt, is a lucky manager. So, you know, we've done all right. We've done all right. And I think, to be fair, when this draw was made back in, was it September time, August time, I was very excited with it. Martial's not travelled, AW415H. A few people haven't travelled either. Adam Hanrahan, have a lucky birthday. Happy birthday for tomorrow. And Elliot Cole says, hi Mark, hi back. I'm not drinking vodka, I'm on the water tonight. I had a couple of beers last night. I feel really tired today after that, actually. Make sure you drop a like on the video, please, and do subscribe if you're new. We're nearly at 312,500 subscribers. We're only 7 short. So if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button at the bottom right-hand corner. There's a little icon there. We need luck against Liverpool. Look, Madhu, the Liverpool game will take care of itself. We will be building towards that from tomorrow. We've got Liverpool fans on the preview tomorrow night. And we're building from that as soon as this, you know, tomorrow. You know, we'll have the fan cams for Valencia and then we're moving over to that. That's what it's all about. But tonight is something a little bit different because a lot of these players are not going to play in that game. I mean, I personally don't see how Paul Pogba will start in the game against Liverpool. Matic rested, Herrera rested, Lingard on the bench here tonight. I don't think Paul Pogba will play in that Liverpool game. But if he puts in a good performance, he probably forces himself into that team. So it is interesting from that point of view, without question. The bench is interesting. I'm really, really pleased to announce that Mason Greenwood is on the bench. Maybe Jose Mourinho watches the United stand and heard the line last night where I said it's idiocy not to play him. It's idiocy not to have him on the bench. It's, you know, if you hadn't put him on the bench, you're just giving yourself more trouble. Stick him on the bench, give him 10 minutes. That's positivity towards you. It's a quick win. Now, I still, you know, 100% believe that Mourinho needs to leave Manchester United, but tonight was obvious. You know, if he has taken the hint, fair play. Mason Greenwood is ready. He's not ready to start a game, but he's ready to be on the bench. I'd like to see him get 20 minutes tonight. Now, Mourinho said he wasn't going to be on the bench unless there were some injuries to the squad. I don't think we've got any injuries, so he's obviously changed his mind. On the bench, you've got Greenwood, Rashford, Lingard as attacking options, and you've got Herrera, Garner and Young, and Phil and Grant is the reserve goalkeeper. So that's your subs bench. But yeah, I'm glad that Mason Greenwood is on the bench, and yeah, hopefully he will get on. But in a more first team centric point of view, you've got Pogba playing, you've got Fred playing, you've got Andreas Pereira playing, and that to me is really, really important. I'm really tired tonight, so hopefully United aren't going to put me to bed. We only play good in some games, says Aditya. I think that's evident from the start to the season that we've actually had. Adrija says, Jose's friend said we got Pogba for commercial reasons. I read about that today, and I've got to be honest with you, I just think, what a load of nonsense. You know, if you're Manchester United, let's just stop trying to rewrite history and grow agendas against the player that really doesn't deserve it. So this person's come out and said that Manchester United only signed Paul Pogba for commercial reasons. Right, okay, let's go back to when we signed Paul Pogba. It was the Euros. It was the summer. Paul Pogba has just won the title with Juventus. He's playing regular Champions League football. Manchester United have just won the FA Cup and sacked Van Gaal after a terribly boring season. Jose Mourinho comes into the club. Manchester United fans are excited, but we know we're in the Europa League and we know that actually winning the title is probably going to be very difficult. We get linked to Paul Pogba and everybody's absolutely ecstatic. How have we done that? King Woodward. How have we got Paul Pogba, one of the best midfielders, one of the most sought-after midfielders to Manchester United? Real Madrid are interested in him. Real Madrid, you know, one of the best teams in the world. Manchester United, on the decline, in the Europa League. All right, we've got Mourinho. How are we getting Paul Pogba? And we signed Paul Pogba. And now people want to say, we only signed him for commercial reasons. Shut up. Absolutely shut up. You're in the Europa League, you're shit, and you've got an opportunity to sign Paul Pogba. I think it's disrespectful that a story like that's even out. We only signed him for commercial reasons. We signed him because our midfield was crap and we were in the Europa League and he was one of the best prospects in the world at the time. You know, what's gone on since then? You know, let's discuss that. But let's not try and pretend we bought Paul Pogba to sell shirts. We bought Paul Pogba because it was a brilliant deal by Manchester United to pull it off. We broke the world transfer record. And he was better than any shit we had in the midfield at the time. So that's why we signed Paul Pogba. It was never about commercial reasons at all. I've got Mad Marcus with me tonight. He'll be joining me at some point. So yeah, looking forward to that. Pogba is world class. We should be happy to have him. This story is complete BS, says Tony Nova. I agree. I think, you know, I've been saying this for a few days now. And the thing is, look, Drawty, who I get on really well with, big part of the channel, he doesn't rate Pogba. He doesn't like his attitude. I respect that, but I totally disagree with it. Everybody's got a right to opinion, but what I don't like is the distorting of facts, the distorting of an agenda. And I think people just want to chuck as much mud at Paul Pogba as they can at the moment and see what sticks. And I just don't buy it. I think he's had a couple of bad games, but I think he's a good player. And then I got somebody today saying to me, how you're such a hypocrite. You know, you talk about agendas against Paul Pogba are unfair, but you've got an agenda against Jose Mourinho. I haven't got an agenda against Jose Mourinho. I backed Jose Mourinho. Look, there's not many people who present the United Stand and has so many people watching the show and so many call-ins. I defended Mourinho against you for 2 years. After Sevilla, I still defended Mourinho. At the start of the season, I still defended Mourinho. We hit the West Ham game and I was Mourinho out. I was probably one of the last people to be Mourinho out. It's not an agenda to be Mourinho out. It's evidence. You know, there is reams and reams and reams and reams of evidence about Jose Mourinho to do him with his attitude, his standard of football, his throwing of players under the bus, our results. There's so many reasons to be Jose Mourinho out. It's not an agenda. An agenda, if you look it up, an agenda is when you are distorting facts and fake news and things like that because you've got a dislike of a certain thing. I'm not distorting anything. But I feel that there is an agenda against Paul Pogba because people are distorting it. People are trying to make out he's been rubbish for 8 months. People are trying to make out he's the worst player in the squad. People are trying to say he's a crap player and a flop and we bought him for commercial reasons. That's an agenda. Let's have an adult conversation about Paul Pogba and say, look, Southampton, he was atrocious, but he should be our best player. Why isn't he our best player? You know, he performs a lot better for France. Anyway, I love this team, says Jawad. It is a good team. Romero in goal, Bailly and Jones, so happy that Eric Bailly's playing. Valencia and Rojo. Interesting to see Rojo at left back because I think he's a good left-sided centre-back and a crap left back, but let's see how he does. Fellaini, Fred and Pogba, Mata, Pereira and Lukaku. So there's good and bad. There's good and bad in that team. I mean, Lukaku, Jones, Fellaini. But there's good. Bailly, Pogba, Fred, Pereira. So I'm hoping tonight that we do see a good performance from Manchester United. I really hope that we do. And I hope that we see... I hope that we do see a good performance from Paul Pogba in a more expansive team. Because I think if we see a more expansive Manchester United side, then Jose Mourinho cannot come out and say, well, I was right, because we'll just say, well, actually, you've played him with Fred for a start. And to be honest with you, Fred and Pogba played really well together against... who did they play? Wolves. They played well. And he took him off after 60 minutes, which was weird. But I thought they played really, really well. Manchester City are playing tonight as well, for anybody who's interested. Foden playing for them. See, young player as well. Not only are they top of the league, not only are they playing good football, but they do play their youth. Players playing out of position, and that's down to Jose, says Michael Jones. Mark and Flex become more negative since Rants came on the United stand. It's a true story. I think that's a little bit unfair, mate. I mean, look, you know what? I will say something now. Me and Rants do shows together. Flex and Rants does. Me and Flex do. I don't agree with what Rants says about Luke Shaw. He says he's overrated and he's not that good. I personally think Luke Shaw is one of the better midfielders, better left backs in the country at the moment. So I totally disagree with that. Ross, how you doing, pal?
Yeah, really good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. We're just talking about the team news a bit there. I take it you've seen it. What are your thoughts?
Overly positive, to be honest. I think I'd have made one change from that. The one thing I'm trying to work out, and you probably already discussed this, is looks like Pereira's playing as a forward type player, which I think is going to be the most interesting thing to watch tonight, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously he was at Valencia last season, and that's where he would play when he did play or when he came on. So, yeah, it's interesting. I like Pereira a lot, and I do think he can play that CDM role, and I thought he would play there today. But obviously Mourinho not quite trusting him to play with Fred and Pogba. He probably wants somebody who is over 6'4" and a donkey, so hence Fellaini's playing. But it'll be interesting to see Pereira playing in a more advanced position, because I think we probably could do with a few more options there. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest thing he gives us, and you know what, which is why I probably would play Fellaini today. Pereira's really good on set pieces, and we missed that in this United team. So hopefully he can be the one from corners who can find Fellaini and Lukaku and such. But I did find Lukaku's inclusion a bit strange today. He has been in and around the goals recently, so I don't really think the confidence boost is needed. And for a guy that's played so much football over the summer, I just think playing him in needless games is silly, really. So I don't think I'd have included him. And I'd have played that Greenwood. Give him a go. Why not?
Well, he is on the bench. That's a big positive. Anyone who's joining us a little bit later, the team is the team to my right, but Mason Greenwood is on the bench, the young revelation at Manchester United. And I think we've got to start using some of these players. I really, really do. I'm fed up, and a lot of people are fed up of talking about our youth setup. And this guy is whacking goals in at the moment, and I really do believe that we've seen this before with Rooney, with Michael Owen, with Ryan Giggs. 17. I think if you're a winger or you're a forward, get him in the team, give him a go. It doesn't matter when you play in those positions.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually think we've got one of the best youth setups that we've had at Old Trafford since way before the Fergie, before the Fergie era, but into the Fergie era. We need to start using them. You're right. Just got the wrong manager, and it is frustrating. But I'm just sick of going on about him now. To be honest, I'm actually looking forward to this game. Strangely enough, just because there's not really a lot in it. And it's just nice to watch a United game actually with no stress, and just we can actually analyse Pogba a little bit more. And I am going to analyse him actually, his work rate specifically, because actually I thought we played really well without him.
Yeah, it's interesting actually, the Pogba topic. I mean, tonight it's I think either way Mourinho wins, because if he plays well he can say it's down to me. If he doesn't play well he can say, look, I'm right. But what are you expecting from Pogba? There's clearly no love lost between Mourinho and Pogba, but it's in Pogba's best interest to put in a performance tonight, because if he's looking to get away, you want to be doing well.
He doesn't necessarily have to put in the performance of his life. I just want to see effort and determination from him. I think he's been given the same treatment as what Luke Shaw's been given, what Martial's been given. They both come out the other end. So there is no reason that Pogba can't do the same, unless his attitude gets in the way. I don't actually think Pogba has a bad attitude. So I'm just expecting a bit more work rate from him today. Look, if the things don't come off, it's not an issue. But if you lose the ball, get back and win it, or show some effort to do that. This whole lose the ball, stand there watching it business ain't going to fly with any manager in the world. So he needs to cut that out of his game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in relation to the game tonight, I think there's a lot of people, because like you say, it's quite an enjoyable game just to watch with very little pressure on. But I do sort of want to say that, look, Valencia did come to Old Trafford and play us off the park, although they couldn't hit the ocean from a boat. They were pretty blunt in front of goal. They're playing a few of their reserves tonight as well, albeit obviously being Valencia, their reserves are pretty good. What do you feel about? Do you think? I mean, I think if United win, it would be a very significant win to beat Valencia in Valencia. I still think they're a good team. I still think it's a big game. So I think it will be a draw. I think it's I do think it's a difficult game for United still.
I'm a bit the other way, to be honest, mate. I think Valencia are crap. I think their B team would be even worse. I think that shows where we were. The fact that they did deserve to beat.
Where we still are. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, why do people suddenly think that? We've beaten. It's that old. We've beaten bottom of the league, and now we can just go to Valencia and win. We must remember that we are having a pretty shit season ourselves, I suppose. But yeah, I'd like to see us do well. But yeah, you think we will?
Yeah, I think we will. I just think that set pieces, people like Pereira, Pogba wanting to prove a point. I think we should beat them 2 or maybe even 3-0. But again, I'll just go back to it. The reason why I would have played Greenwood, because he turns dead rubber games like this into exciting for the fans, but it also gives the player something to fight for, something to really get his teeth into, because you're not going to get that from Lukaku tonight. He'll even be told going out there to not put in 100%. You'd be silly to. You'd be telling him to pull out of tackles and all sorts. Why would you not do that? So that's where I would have played him tonight. Like you said, I think it just spiced it up for everybody involved.
Ashley Wood says, Mark thinks Valencia are a good team. Jesus. Look, mate, I watched Valencia play Manchester United and they played us off the park at Old Trafford. All I'm saying is, and it's all about opinion, obviously, where is everybody getting that Manchester United are a good team? We're not. And I hope we do put in a good performance tonight, but you can slate Valencia, but I think they can slate us as well. And I do think we've been very lucky in this group. But, you're right on Greenwood. I mean, Mourinho did say yesterday that he wouldn't be on the bench. So I'm really pleased that he is, because it's just, if you're under pressure and you've got a lot of fans who want to have you sacked, it was a no-brainer to give him 20 minutes tonight, because that will, even I'll feel positive towards Mourinho if he gives him 20 minutes. So it was an absolute no-brainer to get him involved. And I was really surprised last night on his press conference that he said Garner would be on the bench, but Greenwood wouldn't. And maybe he's looked at that overnight and thought, actually, I'm an idiot. I've got to put him on the bench because I can win a few positivity points here.
I think it's an oversight from Jose not to do something like this, because he's going to be hard pushed to turn the media around. I mean, the media are out to get him. We know that.
Well, they were when we were doing well as well, weren't they, to be fair?
Exactly. But if he can actually promote someone, and that's Jose's boy, and he can actually take full credit if he comes good. Like, it's not saying that he will, but if he did, and because he's English, the media will be all over it. The pundits will be salivating over it if he was to promote a young English talent and then kick on. Look, we've seen all the City rejects, Sancho, go to Dortmund and just light it up. And that's because they've been given a chance. Unless we give these players a chance, this goes for every English club, they ain't going to come through. And you know what? I'm half tempted to ship half the Premier League reserves out to Bundesliga at the minute, because if that's what they're going to turn them into, wow. And Sancho's not the only one. There's another kid doing bits out there as well. So just give him a chance. I mean, look what Rashford did. And we always forget. There's all this hype around Rashford. Rashford was a nobody in our reserves. And I don't think anyone had heard the name Rashford before Van Gaal got forced to bring him on. And all these people coming out going, oh yeah, I remember him from the youth days. I've never heard of him. And that's me being brutally honest. So these kids, they've got talent. Bring them through.
It's interesting, actually, about that, because it was something I was thinking about this afternoon. I never would have thought about it if you hadn't said that. But you know what? I actually have a different opinion on Mourinho when it comes to the youth. I think he's actually He doesn't pick youth because he doesn't want to pick youth, because he doesn't trust youth, because he prefers experience. And I think that's been proven throughout his career. I think with like Rashford, Van Gaal had nobody left. He played him, he scored, and then he kept playing him. I think Jose Mourinho, even if Greenwood came on and scored tonight, I don't think we'd seen Greenwood play much between now and the end of the season, because unlike a Van Gaal, unlike a Ferguson, who would go, wow, I found something, let's play it, let's develop it. I think Mourinho's like, nah, I'm never going to do that. I'm not developing youth players in my team. I've got too much to lose to do that. I've got to go with what I trust. I've got to go with experience. So I actually think the opposite. I just look at McTominay. I mean, McTominay is his boy. He created an award for him. How much has he played McTominay, who is his player? You know, and he loves McTominay, but he still hasn't found a place for him in the team and hasn't played him much at all this season. So I think even if you are somebody that Mourinho really rates as a youth player, he won't pick you. And look at Pereira as well. Pereira did nothing wrong. He was the best player on the tour. He started the season well, and we've not really seen him since half-time against Brighton, despite the fact the midfield's been crap. So I just think that Mourinho just will not ever play youth to that extent. I just don't. That's not the manager he is. When you're 25, but when you're 25, you're going to have gone elsewhere. I just do not think he is a development manager at all. I don't think he's got any intention of doing that, because it's just not who he is.
Yeah, I think you're totally right with that. But he's missing. What I would say maybe is his biggest flaw as a manager, because the amount of times I saw Fergie do something like this, or even buy a new signing, and it would just lift the whole team. You'd see a reaction even when they're going through a bad patch of form. Jose won't take that risk. So when your team's down and out, nothing changes. The personnel doesn't change. The squad doesn't change. You just, it's like the diagram of insanity, to be honest. He needs to do something drastic, and playing a Greenwood may be that thing. Or even Chong, or even Gomez. I can name plenty of other names that are talented in our reserves.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's an obvious thing to do. But so many times, even in his Manchester United career, we've sat here doing it exactly now, saying, "Oh, surprise, surprise! He's gone with experience over the younger player." And that's just who we are. I said it when we got Mourinho. Even when I was excited that we got Mourinho, I said, "Look, he isn't going to do it. He ain't going to do it." And I do think Greenwood. I mean, Gabriel says Greenwood won't play a minute. I do think there's an opportunity there for him to get maybe 10, 20 minutes tonight. I hope, but I don't expect to.
The opportunity's there, like you said, mate. But what is going to infuriate me tonight, and put your bets on it, guys, if Greenwood's coming on, he'll come on the 89th or 90th minute, and it's going to do my absolute bloody head in, to be honest.
Well, look at Gomez. Gomez came on in that last game against Crystal Palace, Rooney's last game. I mean, Rooney's been to Everton and is now in America since then, and I think Gomez has played 10 minutes. It's disgusting. Chong as well. It's disgusting. These players should be getting more minutes. I'm not saying they're first teamers, but they should be getting more minutes. But Mourinho won't trust youth. He doesn't. His career is based on not trusting youth. That's why he goes after 28, 29-year-olds. He will not trust youth. That's not what he's about. But Gomez is the prime example. Comes on for Rooney's last game. Gomez comes on. Changing of the guard. Well, that was over 2 years ago. And I think Gomez has played about 10, 15 minutes first team in 2 years since then. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
You actually can't make it up, can you? The fact that he won't touch a youth player, but the fact that he finds one player in his whole youth rank who's 6'5" and he's straight in the team.
But he doesn't. That's what I mean. Even the player that he likes, McTominay, he actually doesn't play him. He has him as every now and again. But for somebody who's meant to be his, and it is his player. It's not like, as I say, with Rashford or with Giggs or people like that. He gets them playing. He doesn't. He's got no intention of doing it. He's not interested in the youth.
McTominay's the only player. Well, yeah, he's the only player that I see that makes me think Jose's trolling United. It really makes me think that he's doing it for a laugh and he's trying to destroy what he believes is his biggest rival. Because no manager in his right mind looks at Scott McTominay and goes, what a player. I mean, he's absolutely crap, and he can't even hit the ball. I've never got that one. I really haven't.
What's your score prediction for tonight, Ross?
2-0 I'm going with. Probably
No.
brace from Lukaku, mate.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 1-1. I think Valencia are better than people think, and I think it'll be 1-1. And I also think Valencia will have a bit of take a bit of satisfaction from getting a result against us, because I think they feel a little bit aggrieved because United did get a bit of luck, which we did, but over 6 games you are where you deserve to be. So I think it'll be a little bit closer. And then obviously the game at the weekend, I've got to ask you that before you go. I mean, how are you feeling about that? I must admit, having watched Liverpool last night, my confidence is growing a bit, because it is a derby essentially. So if we approach it in the right way, I'm not saying we're going to win, but I sort of feel we should be coming out of that without losing.
I totally agree. I saw the tweet from the United stand today. The only difference is, and this is horrible to say, and I can't believe I'm going to say it, Liverpool respect Napoli as a football team, think they're actually quite decent. I actually believe, and I've spoken to a few Liverpool fans, that they think we're crap. And they've probably got
a good mind.
Yeah, they've got a good mind to think that. So the Liverpool fans, and more importantly the team, are going to go out there to destroy us on the weekend. And that will either go 2 ways. And this United team buckled too much for me. So I've seen us turn games like this around, mostly under Van Gaal, to be honest. But boy, do we need a good game, because the mentality for the Liverpool squad is going to be much different to when they played Napoli, because they ain't got no respect for us. And to be honest, when you see Smalling, Valencia, Young at the back, they'll probably be right not to have it.
Well, to be honest with you, if you look at the league table and you look at who Arsenal, Chelsea and Spurs are playing at the weekend, all winnable games, I think we're already 8 points off 4th and 5th anyway. A draw would put us 10 points. And a lot of us would say a draw is a good result. But then when you look at the result on Sunday night, you'll be like, shit, we're 10 points off 4th place. That's massive.
The most sickening thing about it is, as well, is if we do the absolute miraculous and pull off a win, what does it actually do for us? Apart from a bit of a morale boost, we'd be in the same bloody position.
Yeah.
That's how far we've dropped. The games like this should really impact the table. This won't impact the table at all, even if we win.
Well, no, yeah, you're right. I'd never even thought of it like that. Even if we do win, I think the gap at the top is going to still be 8 points. So, but there are winnable. To be honest with you, I think if we did beat Liverpool, you would hope, and I say hope, that the team would then go on and beat Huddersfield and Bournemouth and Newcastle, and maybe we could be 6 points off the top in New Year. But I personally feel that top 4's gone. I mean, that was going to be my next question. Is what do you think that this season holds for us now? Because let's just talk about the Champions League as well, because I know you'll mention the league. Looking at the way it's going to go, I think we're going to finish second unless we get really lucky in the Champions League group. And I think you look at the teams we're likely to play: Real Madrid probably, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, PSG. I think Porto are there. That would be the lucky draw. And knowing Mourinho, maybe we would get that. But realistically, yeah, we're through. We're through the Champions League. And yeah, we're still taking the piss out of Arsenal and Chelsea because they're in the Amadale Cup playing carrier bag. But realistically, Arsenal fans are right when they come back and say, what are you joking about? You're going to be here next year and we might not be. I think we're nailed on to be in the Europa League next season because, well, or maybe not even in anything. Maybe it'll go even worse than that. But I can't see us getting top 4 in the league. And I mean, Champions League, I think we might be out the next round if we pull out a decent team.
Sorry, mate. Carrier bag really tickled me, actually. Yeah, look, Champions League is Champions League. And the most depressing thing about it is we could go out in January and spend £1 billion. It ain't going to affect our Champions League team. This is what we got. They'll all be cup tied. And this team ain't winning no Champions League. So I think we can safely forget that one. I do think January is key for us, though. I think we need to strengthen. Not just to boost our position in the league, but to boost us for next year. Because I think the rebuilding job over the summer is too much. It needs to start in January. And also to just put a bit of confidence back in the fans and in Jose, to be honest. And I think it'll either go 2 ways. He won't get a penny in January and he'll walk, or he'll get given an incredible sum of money and then just won't play them. I think that's the dilemma.
It's funny, actually. In fact, we just had a contribution, so I'll read that first. Jermaine Dacre says, no world-class youth player in our squad. The only is Dalot, maybe Pereira. The others aren't ready. Cut Mourinho some slack here, and for retention, I'm Mourinho out. There's no world-class youth player in our squad. Well, by definition, you're not a world-class youth player. You know, how do you define a world-class youth player until they actually play some first-team football? You know, no youth player is world-class till they play football. But I would argue back and say Chong is a winger, so he could be playing. Ryan Giggs was playing at 17. You know, people say, oh, he's too lightweight. It makes no difference, especially in the modern game where you're protected. Gomez, look, I think he should have had more minutes. I'm not saying he should be first team. Twansibi's on loan, so you can't argue with that. Pereira, definitely ready. I'd like to see Mason Greenwood given time, but I feel that Chong should have had more minutes, to be honest with you.
Jordan Sancho was a farmer that nobody was interested in. Now he's world class all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You just don't know until you play him, do you? You really don't.
Exactly. And I just think, unfortunately, we've got a manager who won't. And that's what we're stuck with. But it is interesting because you get a lot of people who are saying this week, we've had a few people saying, maybe we should just forget about top four and focus on the Champions League. And it makes me laugh because it's like being on a night out in a club and, you know, you're going after a girl that's, you know, or maybe a boy, depending on your preferences. You're going after a girl, in my case, who's pretty good looking, within your range, and then you suddenly decide, she ain't interested. I'm going after this 10 out of 10 bird who won't look at me in a million years. I'm going to go and try and pull her. Because, you know, our best chance is top four in Premier League. Winning the Champions League, we've got 0 points. 0 chance. That's just not going to happen. I mean, Liverpool more or less scammed it to the final last year with the draw that they had. I think they played Porto, Roma. It was a relatively easy path to the final. And then they got found out in the final. But Liverpool were a good team. You know, we could scam it. We could get Porto, get to the quarterfinals. Then you're going to have to play someone decent. All right, we could do a Juventus over 2 games, which would be extremely lucky. But we ain't going to do it all the way to the final. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong, Ross. Maybe I'm wrong. But I feel the Champions League is impossible. You can't scam it. Not through that many rounds.
No, my outside favourites would be Borussia Dortmund, to be honest, mate. I don't know if I may have made a massive clang.
No, they're still in it, yeah. They're still in it, yeah.
They're still in it, but Juventus, although our favourites, don't look that great. They got beaten by the worst United side I've ever seen. Real Madrid are not Real Madrid. It's not going to be us, though. It's not going to be us. You're right, Liverpool did scam it. Unfortunately, I've got to go, mate.
Yeah, no worries.
But, mate, thanks for having me on.
Thanks for calling.
I'll speak to you before the weekend.
Yeah, all right, mate. Have a good one. Speak to you later.
Cheers, pal. Catch you later, mate. Bye.
I want to go back to what we were talking about before Ross was there anyway. But no, I agree. I think we've got no chance. And I know never say never and all that. But look, never say never about Sunday. Never say never about beating Liverpool. That's a 90-minute game. What if Liverpool gets someone sent off? What if we park the bus and we get a penalty? Never say never. Liverpool are definitely favourites for that game, but never say never. But do say never for the Champions League because you can't scam it. You know, it's not a one-off game. You've got to win. You've got to get through 6 games just to get to the final, then 7. You know, that Juventus game was the definition of how United beat a big team. We're not good enough to beat a big team. So what you do is you hang on in there, they miss a load of chances, then you scam it at the end of the game. You can't do that over 2 legs for a start. We've got no chance in the Champions League. It's just nice to still be in it because we would have had no chance in the Europa League as well, by the way. So I'd rather be in the Champions League because it's a better tournament. But we've got no chance. No chance of the Champions League. And I don't think we've got a chance of top 4 either. So what are we actually doing for the next 5 months? FA Cup, obviously, if you're in it, you can. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But please do drop a like on the video, everyone. Let's see if we can get 1,000 likes before kickoff. And remember, subscribe if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner. But let me just go back to what I was talking about. Look, the reality is me, Flex, Rants get on really, really well. And, you know, we've had discussions in the past where we disagree about things, but we were saying just before, you know, Rants thinks Luke Shaw's shit, you know, overpaid, not good enough. I like Luke Shaw. I've always liked Luke Shaw. I did say in the summer we should sell Luke Shaw, and that was for the reason that I never in a million years thought Jose Mourinho would ever play Luke Shaw ahead of Ashley Young. So if you remember the summer, I was adamant that we needed to get Alexandro, and I was really disappointed that we didn't. But then the season started, and he's picked Luke Shaw as his first choice left back. So I've got what I always wanted. He's an English left back, which I'd always prefer. I'm sorry, I'd like to see more English, British players in the United team because that's what I grew up with. So, and we are an English football team. So, I don't like to see teams like Arsenal with just total and, no English players in their whole squad. I know they do have now, and I think that's a good thing. So he's English, which is a big tick in the box for me, or British. He's young. He's got room to develop. He's quick. He's good going forward. And I think he can get better and better. I really, really do like Luke Shaw. And to be honest with you, I applaud Jose Mourinho because I never ever thought Luke Shaw would be playing ahead of Ashley Young. So I totally disagree with anyone who criticises Luke Shaw. I think he's a good player. And I think I'm very happy that he's our left back. Are there better left backs in the world? Probably. But am I happy with that situation? Yes, I am. And it's like Liverpool fans going on about Alisson because he made that save last night. I've seen Alisson make better saves than that. I think he made better saves in that game than that. It was straight at him. But look, would Liverpool fans swap Alisson for De Gea? No, they wouldn't. Would we swap De Gea for Alisson? Never a million years. So, crack on. I think some arguments about who is better become redundant. It's a bit like the Ronaldo-Messi thing. You're going to get people who say Ronaldo. You're going to get people who say Messi. As long as you're happy with your decision, that is fine. But look, I think the key players that many fans agree with at United that aren't good enough are your Matijs, your Lukakus, your McTominays, your Fellainys, your Ashley Youngs, your Phil Jones. We've got too many of those players that the majority feel they're not good enough, and a lot of them play first team football regularly. Then you've got your dividers. Even Ander Herrera is a bit of a divider, even though I like him. Lingard is a bit of a divider. Should he be a starter? Should he be a bench player? Some people were calling Rashford Trashford a few weeks ago. Martial divided opinion last season. Pogba's dividing opinion now. Eric Bailly, Ross, doesn't think he's that good. I think he's really good. So you're gonna, the thing about United is we haven't got enough players where everyone agrees they're great. We've got De Gea, probably Martial now. Other than that, you've got potential players like that could be really universally liked. Your Dalot, your Rashford, maybe your Luke Shaw. We've got a few players that are dividers, as I've said. Your Herreras, your Bays, your Pogbas, your Rashfords, I suppose, to a certain extent. But we've got a lot of players where a lot of fans don't like them. Now, that, to me, is one of the best explanations and examples of what's going wrong at Manchester United. Because throughout our prime, we maybe had one player that nobody thought was good enough. We maybe had 2 or 3 players that people thought were dividers, but we had 8 or 9 players where everyone went, they're great. It's the other way now. We've got 1 or 2 players where people are think they're great. You've got 7 or 8 players that divide opinion, and then you've got 6 or 7 players where most fans think they're crap. The balance is totally the wrong way. So that's what we need to address. But it goes back to even before Mourinho times, doesn't it? This Deadwood thing. How many years have we been talking about Deadwood? We've still got a lot of Deadwood in our club. Rudart Houston says, thoughts on Liverpool on Sunday, Mark? Look, this time tomorrow night, 8 o'clock tomorrow night, we've got the preview for the Liverpool game. So that's when we're going to start talking about it. Got a really good Liverpool fan on, very opinionated, so that's going to be good fun. And we build towards that. And I'm very excited about that game. I nearly said bums to the wall, backs to the wall. And it will be backs to the wall. I think that's how we'll approach it. To be honest with you, I think it's very easy to be critical of Mourinho at the moment, but that's the situation. Matthew West says, what's happening with Patreon, weekly podcasts? We're looking at that in the new year, Matthew. Got some good ideas for it. To be honest with you, I struggle with Patreon. I do struggle with Patreon. I'm not even too sure of whether I even agree with it. But no, we're looking at that in the new year, especially with my football manager career starting. Dalot is better start against Liverpool, says Jason North. I agree with that. A. George says, is Rojo even good? I don't like him at left back. A left-sided centre-back, I like him. Shout out for Jake Lau, please. He's going to the game tonight. Big fan of yours. Shout out Jake. If you see Flex, say hello. Mark, at the end of the day, Liverpool strengthened in the right places, which we did not, says Warren Storr. Look, you know what? The most impressive player for me for Liverpool last night, because I did the watch-along on That's Football, obviously Salah's very, very good. We know that. Alisson had a good game. I think most of their players had a good game, but the one player that's massively, massively improved Liverpool and made them, you know, I think Napoli would have scored a year ago against Liverpool, but the one player that made it virtually impossible for Napoli to score was Van Dijk. He is a beast defender for them. Absolutely wins everything, terrifies the opposition. Even that tackle where people said it should have been a red card. To be honest, if that was Eric Bailly, we'd have loved it as well. But he's massively improved them, and I think that is the way it goes, isn't it? At the moment, you know, some people think that United are missing that, and I can see the point. But I think we've got a lot of other problems at United. I mean, you know, you could bring Van Dijk into United's team if he'd never played for Liverpool. I think he would improve us, but would he improve the fact that we've still got Matic playing? You know, that Fellaini still plays, that our midfield is slow, that we don't create enough chances. He ain't going to improve that side of things, is he? So for me, that's a bit of a problem for United. It was a sitter, George Kyle. I mean, I could hear the Emmerdale theme tune in my mind as he went to score it. He should have scored it, and then Liverpool would have been in the Europa League, wouldn't they? Ali K says, Mark, impossible is a word that should never be associated with our amazing club. No, it shouldn't. You're right, Ali. It shouldn't, and that's why the manager should be removed, because things are impossible in my mind. It's impossible for us to win the Champions League. Absolutely impossible. And obviously, if we were to win the Champions League, that little bit of clip there would be played time and time again. And I would happily probably have a tattoo of L on my forehead, because if we won the Champions League, no one's going to be more happier than me. But it's impossible for us to win the Champions League. We're just not good enough. And you can't scam it. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't say it's impossible for us to get top four, but I don't think we will get top four. It's massively, 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 highly unlikely. Mourinho won the Champions League with Porto, says Lewis Smith. Yes, but they were a good team. You know, they weren't the favourites, but they were well organised and they were a dangerous team, Porto. It's not the same. You know, United are not well organised and they're not a good team. We could start with something tonight. I hope that we do. I hope that Fred, Pereira and Pogba play well. I don't really give a shit about anybody else. I really don't. I'm not bothered. We've seen them play under Mourinho. I'm not bothered if Fellaini has a good game. I'm not bothered if Valencia has a good game, or Rojo has a good game, or Phil Jones or Lukaku have a good game, or Mata has a good game. And I like Mata. But it makes no difference because they get regular game time. I want to see Bailly, Pogba, Fred, Pereira have at least 7 out of 10 games tonight. Really good games from all of them. And I think that's what I want to see. I hope we lose the game tonight and get Mourinho out of our club, says Shane Goo. To be honest with you, I think if we lost tonight and we lost on Sunday, he'll still be manager on Monday. I don't think he's going to get sacked this season. I've accepted that, to be honest with you. I really have. Thanks for the people who've made a contribution. Remember, you can do that through the $sign at the bottom of the live comments. But if you do, please do leave us a comment that we can read out. Kickoff time is in 21 minutes time. Little blanket. So we're getting close. Just going to have a little stand-up stretch. Shake it all about. We've had a couple of comments there, so I won't miss those. I think Chelsea scammed it in 2012, finishing 6th. Says Thomas Biles. They did. And Fasak Mamar says, best wishes from India, Mark. Do you think we can get Koulibaly by splashing money in January? Well, I'm going to do a show about Koulibaly probably tomorrow lunchtime, so we can pick up on that. But personally, in a sentence, I think he would adapt to the Premier League very, very, very well. CDL Bro, will Martial start versus Liverpool? If not, who replaces him? Well, thanks for the contribution there, and I think that is a great, great point. What can we learn from this United lineup tonight about the Liverpool game? I mean, we know De Gea will start. He's been rested. We know Chris Smalling will start. He's been rested. We know Matic will start. He's been rested. I would suspect Herrera will start. He's been rested. Is Martial fit enough to play against Liverpool? Is he being rested? I don't know. Can Pogba really force his way into the team? Maybe. I don't think Fred can. I don't think Pereira can. I don't think Eric Bailly can. I think there are certain spots in that team that are already taken down. But, yeah. I've got a horrible feeling as well that Manchester City might win this Champions League. Yes. I hate to say it, but I have. Podcast fan, thoughts on the lineup, Mark? Just got in. I'm happy. I'm happy with that lineup. I'm happy that I know the midfield three I sort of hoped we were going to see was Pereira, Fred, and Pogba. We're actually going to see Fellaini, Pogba, and Fred. So if Fellaini just sits in that midfield and does Matic's job, he'll probably do it a little bit better. And actually, we're going to see Pereira in many people's favourite position, in a more advanced position. So, yeah. Warren Stores, I would like to do rambles again. I would love to do a ramble again. The trouble is the weather's so wet, it's difficult to do a ramble because I can't take Robbie in the wet because it gets absolutely filthy. So, no. We'll struggle tonight, 1-1, says Big D. That's my prediction. I am going to go 1-1. I think it'll be a draw. I think people are sleeping on Valencia. I think they're better than people think. So, I'm going to go 1-1. The Valencia team, if you want it, Craig, I can give it to you. I know that there's only about 3/4 players who started at the weekend in their draw with Sevilla. But I can give you their team. BBC are terrible. Here we go. Dominic in goal, who's not the first choice goalkeeper. Piccini, Vizzo, Diakabi, Grusso. So no Vela, no Gare. Soler did play at the weekend. Palio played at the weekend. Kondobia didn't. Cheryshev didn't. Batshuayi didn't. Mina Lorenzo did. So they've rested quite a few of their first team players. Coquelin's on the bench. Rodrigo is on the bench. Gare is on the bench. But what was the lad who used to play centre back for Arsenal? He plays for Valencia as well. He played at the weekend. He's not even in the squad tonight. I forget what his name is. I can even picture him. I can't think who it is. Somebody in the live comments will say it. So they've rested a lot of their first team as well, to be honest. Does it begin with a G? Somebody's going to get it very, very quickly. Kondobia is Gabriel. I knew it started with a G. Thank you, Archie. Kondobia is a good player for Valencia. Soler is a good player as well. Guedes isn't playing yet. When did you turn on Jose? For me, it's versus Sevilla, says CDL Bro. Thanks for the contribution. Remember, you can do that through the $sign at the bottom, but make sure you leave us a comment. I think it's well documented. I'm not actually 100% sure when I started saying Mourinho out, but I know it was around the West Ham loss. That for me was probably about it. I stuck by him after Sevilla. I stuck by him in the summer. I stuck by him at the start of the season. I stuck by him after the bloody Brighton debacle. But I changed my tune after the West Ham game, I believe, and I don't think I'll ever change back. I think he needs to go. But having said that, I'm in a much better place than maybe I was a couple of weeks ago. I've come to accept now that he won't be sacked. So we've just got to try and get what we can from this season. And I'll tell you what, I was talking to Jorty about this as well. Next summer's going to be brilliant if Mourinho gets sacked. I know we'll be in the Europa League, but we always spend money when we're in the Europa League because the club get terrified that we might not get in the next year after that. So if we can keep everybody we've got, spend 200 million in the summer and get a new manager, might be an exciting season next year. That's what I'm clinging on to. But he's got to go. He's got to go in the summer, without doubt. Without doubt. Pankaj says we're going to win today. I tell you what, I'm very, very intrigued and happy that some of you think we're going to win, because I don't see how we're going to do that based on how we've played this season. So if we're going to win, that means we're going to be in a good position. Do you think Greenwood gets a short cameo, says Tamjid? I've got a horrible feeling that Greenwood will get a cameo for about 30 seconds at the end of the game. Yeah. I'd like to see him get in 20 minutes. That's what I would like to see. But whether that's going to happen or not, we'll have to wait and see. But I certainly would be looking to give him a little bit of time. Yeah. Otherwise, it's a quick win. We're talking there about most of us would like to see Jose Mourinho get the sack, and there's an opportunity for him to get a youngster on the pitch that everyone thinks a lot of. Evening, Marcus. How are you?
Good evening, mate. How are we all doing? You all right?
Yeah. What do you think about the team?
Mixed emotions about it, actually. The obvious thing that stands out for me is no Matic, which is good. But I, like many others, presumed it would be Pereira, Fred and Pogba. It's good to see Bay get a run as well, get a run out tonight. Hopefully he'll start against the Liverpool game. Rojo at left back, not the greatest, but I prefer him to see him as a centre-back partnership with Bay. And Mata starts again, which I'm quite pleased about. So, I'm okay about it. I don't think it's the most exciting lineup, but it's pretty decent, yeah.
Well, you got your man Marouane playing, you love him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think I would have liked to have seen how quick it would have transitioned from back to front with Pereira in there. I think Fellaini is. I think he does a slightly better job than Matic at shielding the back four, but I would have liked to have seen the energy from a young, energetic CDM like Pereira in there.
Yeah.
So I think it's a decent lineup. It's just a shame that there's a couple of players out of position, to be honest.
Yeah, I like Pereira as a more attacking player, and I think that his monitor on. I think that I'd like to see him as a CDM like you, and I was expecting that. But actually, I think Pereira's got such a good delivery that, and I think we are a little bit short in attacking options when you consider Juan Mata is 31 and free to go in January. Lingard, bit of a debate whether he's a first teamer or not. Rashford, Martial, Sanchez, God knows what's going on with them. I think there's an opportunity there for Pereira to maybe come in and be a more offensive player, because to be honest with you, if he is a CDM, he's never going to get picked ahead of bloody Matic anyway, is he? So I hope he has a good game in that position tonight, and he might be able to give us a few options, because otherwise I think he's going to leave. I think he's out of contract in the summer as well.
Yeah, definitely. Lingard has been playing in the midfield three for the last few games, so it would have been interesting to see, if it was going to be Pogba, Fred and Lingard maybe tonight as a possibility, and Pereira staying out on that left-hand side. But I think, the main thing is a lot of us fans have been calling for it for a while now. Matic needs to be dropped. His form has not been that good. And it's very slow in the middle of the park, So, but I don't think Fellaini's the answer for that. I think the answer for it would have been Pereira tonight, definitely. I mean, it's a dead game. I don't see young boys beating Juventus at all. So, I think it would have been a good chance for Mourinho to get some brownie points and experiment a little bit more with the team.
I would say, though, that I'd rather have Fellaini as a CDM than Matic, and I never thought I'd be saying those words, but I've got to say that I think Fellaini is actually more mobile than Matic, so that for me is a positive. So, the positives to me are that, and we don't normally get to say this with United, you've got Pogba playing, that's going to be really interesting to keep an eye on him. Fred, keep an eye on him. Pereira, keep an eye on him. And Bay, 4 players for us to sort of go, look, and you know what, they're not youngsters. Well, Pereira is slightly, but they're all players that if they play well, there should be no issue with them playing. Cole T says confirmed starting 11. That's the team to my right there, as you can see. Romero, Valencia, Bay, Jones and Rojo, Fellaini, Fred, Pogba, Mata, Pereira, Lukaku. So, but all eyes on Pogba, Marcus, tonight. I think a lot of you know, you sit on one side of the fence or you sit on the other with Pogba. I'm not too sure where you sit, but there'll be some, you know, if he has a bad game, I think he'll be absolutely slated. If he has a good game, you know, maybe he can force his way back into the team for that massive game on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, there is that, but I think there's not just eyes on Pogba tonight. I mean, there's quite a few people that agree that Bailly is one of our best, well, he is our best centre-back in my eyes, so I think eyes on him tonight as well. Eyes on Fred, not been playing, well, he's hardly ever played this season. And again, I think eyes on Pereira again. The lad has got to show what he can do. He's I don't know what the guy has got to do to convince Mourinho that he's deserving of a place. Not even if it's not in the starting 11, at least on the bench, because he just brings a difference. There's something about the way he plays. He's very intelligent with the ball. He hardly ever goes backwards. He's very quick. He sees a pass almost as if before it happens. So I just think that kid tonight could be a bit of a difference maker in the team. But I think there's a few players on there that there's eyes on them. Not just Pogba most of all. But I think there is quite a few that need to put in a decent performance tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, what I would say is people are saying it's quite a slow United team. I think what I'd be surprised is if we find any width, because where's the width? Pereira and Mata, not really traditional whip-it-in crossing wingers, and Rojo certainly not that sort of a left-back, and Valencia can't cross. So width will be a problem for United tonight. Look, I don't want to be Mr. Negative, because there's a lot of good players out there that I really, really like. But I don't get, and hopefully I'm going to get a pleasant surprise, I don't get where the confidence is coming from. It's like people are going, Valencia, crap, we're going to win this game. They came to Old Trafford and played us off the park. I know it was a draw, but they did. We've been crap all season. Where's this United performance going to come from? I like the faith, I like the hope, and I hope it's there. But I do think as well, you are chucking a load of players together that haven't played together that often. So it could be quite disjointed. And I don't like Fellaini or Matic in a CDM role, because I don't think they move the ball quick enough. But let's hope that Fellaini is a little bit more improved than Matic. But yeah, we're about 7 minutes away from kickoff. Please do drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're getting closer and closer to 313,000 subscribers. So if you've not subscribed, bottom right hand corner to do it. Yeah, click and subscribe. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. Tomorrow night we've got the Liverpool preview. We've got Liverpool fan on. We've got fan cams. Flex is in Valencia. If you've seen his little vlog, lucky get.
I did, yeah.
Freezing cold here in the UK. He's walking around in a t-shirt in the sun. Yeah. It's like over 20 degrees over there. So we've got fan cams, United fans over there. United stand, do go to all the games and get your fan opinions, home or away. Over to Australia next summer, so loads of stuff going on with the United stand, and you can get involved with that. And obviously we'll have match reaction and match call in after the game as well, so loads to get involved with, and every night at 8 o'clock. So subscribe if you're new. I know we get some people who find us on the Watchalong, so bottom right hand corner, subscribe, get involved. You won't regret it. You'll absolutely love it. Fantastic community on the live comments, in the comments under the videos, so you'll absolutely love it. Get involved. You're very, very welcome if you're new. What is your score prediction, Marcus?
You know, you talking about the positivity, and you don't know where it's coming from. I don't know why, but I'm actually going for a United win tonight.
Whoa! Wow!
Yes, I really am. Yeah, I think it's going to be 2-1 United. Myself, I think Lukaku, the goal, Fulham. I mean, all right, it was a tap in and very easy goal to do, but for a striker, that can give a whole new level of confidence. Mr. Consistent, one Mata in the side again. I thought he was absolutely fantastic Saturday. A lot of the play, the build-up play, came through him. I mean, he set up Lukaku's goal as well. I think he did. So yeah, I'm going 2-1 United tonight. There's a freshness to that team. There's an excitement to that team.
It's an anti-Mourinho team, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, so. you know, and I just think it goes against the personnel that are in there. It goes against what he would pick for the Premier League, and of course, Valencia. There's nothing to play for, obviously, but Valencia will probably rest a lot of their players as well. So yeah, I'm feeling a United win tonight, 2-1 for me.
Yeah, I hope so. But I'm going to go with the draw.
Oh, yeah. What, 0-0?
1-1.
1-1. Yeah. Oh, all right. You're going for a score draw then?
Yeah, I just don't think. I actually think, regardless of whether the group's over or not, let's just remember what happened against Sevilla. You know, home and away, they played us off the park. And to be honest with you, I can't remember the last time a United side got a good result against a Spanish team, because we seem to struggle with teams that get the ball down and play. And yeah, all right, there's a few reserve Valencia players there, but they all train together. You know, the reserve players don't go and play on a different pitch and hoof it. You know, they'll all be well drilled in knocking the ball about. And I think it depends how United approach the game. You know, it really does.
Well, I mean, you know, the back line, the back four for United, I mean, okay, Calamity Jones is in there, but Valencia's not been playing, Bay's not been playing, Rojo's not been playing. So you got that fresh vibe in there. There's no excuses.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the same with the midfield. Pogba and Fred not been playing. So it's just the freshness runs from back to front. And I just think there's going to be too much energy in that United team. And I think Valencia will struggle with it. I really do.
Roy Keane, simply the best, as 1-0 to Valencia. I need to actually, Marcus, I'm just going to leave you to chat with everyone for 30 seconds or so, because I've actually got the wrong channel on. I've got Man City on, so I don't want to watch that shit. I'll give me a minute.
Yeah, right. So Danny Miller says 3-1 United. Man United fan says 2-1 United. What happened to Andreas says guess who? So Andreas Pereira is out on the left wing at the moment before kickoff. That's how he's lined up. So I will tell Mark about super chats. Don't worry. I will keep them up here in case he doesn't get back. Dal Raj says 2-1 United. Kieran says come on United. Pogba FC says Tamjid. Michael Williams says Andreas is praying. Yes, so team lineup. Even Mark's got it there on the screen as well. To your left, Andreas Pereira is out on the left-hand side, and Mata will be on the right-hand side. So the teams are just coming out at the moment. I think maybe I should read this one out in case he's not back in time. So Dylan Walsh made a contribution. Thanks for that. It says, I don't care how bad our club is at the moment. There are some players that still want to play for us. It's the biggest club in England with the biggest history. Yes, but what I would say to that is sometimes in this day and age, maybe that's not enough, because it's all very money orientated now, isn't it? So yeah, hopefully you're right. False team sheet, Matic starting as Cam says he should. No, he's not. Callum, Merry Christmas to you as well, mate. I do know that, Durrani. Yeah, I do know that. I'm not sure what she's there for, though. Something about a new album, I think. So they're just lining up with the mascots and that, having the Champions League theme tune playing. 3-1 United says Cold Tea. Where is Mark? Mark has just gone to change his TV channel. So he will be back. Don't worry. Al B, I will tell him when he comes back, mate, to read out your super chat. All right. We need a centre back and a CDM in January, says Kenny Simpson. I think we're only going to get a centre back in January. Gareth Jagger says, what channel, please? In the UK, it is BT Sport 3. Not sure what it is in America. Archie, BT Sport 3, mate. Oscar, I will try. Yeah, Snaps, I'll let him know.
I'm in.
Mark, you've got a contribution from Al B.
Yeah.
It's a personal one to you. I read the other one out.
All right, let's fill up. There's quite a big crowd at Valencia as well.
Yeah.
LB says, happy Christmas, Mark. Thanks for a good service. Well, happy Christmas to you, LB, as well. I was actually thinking, that we normally do the sort of like Christmas party show, and I thought, actually, what would be a good one to do it a little bit different this year, would be to do it for the Cardiff game, which is the Saturday before Christmas. So, because it's a 5:30 kickoff, we could just continue into the evening for that.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. We're about to kick off, and I haven't even got the timer ready. So
yeah, I've got to remind you for that. Yeah. Right. So TNT in the USA apparently, and BT Sport 3 in the UK. But yeah, the stadium seems quite filled.
Yeah.
You know, considering there's nothing really to play for, quite surprising actually. Jack Broderick says 2-1 United.
Well, we've kicked off and we are 20 seconds in. Start the clock. There we go.
Still can't get used to Fellaini's hairstyle. It just doesn't suit him at all.
Yeah, you've gone off him since he's had his haircut.
He's not the same, mate. He's not the same.
Well,
he's lost 6 inches.
Let's have a look how it goes. Rojo just going in trying to kick people straight away. Nothing changes there.
Yeah.
And a lot of eyes on Pogba. Moyes, LVG, Mourinho next season. Who do you take? Says Liam. I'd take Van Gaal. I never thought I'd say that actually, but I think out of the 3 managers, Van Gaal's probably been the least shit. I'm not saying any of them are good. I personally, absolutely, totally agree. I wanted Van Gaal gone. You know, I haven't changed that. I think they're all crap. But if I had to put up with one, I'd take Van Gaal back because I think the football was better, and I think he played the youth. But by no means am I trying to rewrite history and say the football was good. It wasn't, but it was better than Mourinho's football. And he used youth, so he'd be the closest thing that we've got to won back there by Lukaku. And then we go backwards. But if Pogba and Fred and Pereira can do a little bit on the ball, see, Mourinho will hate that. Little back flick by Pereira and Valencia pick it up. LB says, do you think Jose's detrimental effect on our players' international careers will impact our buying player power? Even if he's sacked, Mata, Martial, Fred all dropped. World-class players. Yeah, I mean, Fred losing his Brazil place is ridiculous, really, because he was I think he'd been in part of their squad for well over a year. But you can't pick a player that doesn't play first-team football. I mean, Andreas Pereira was in the Brazil squad at the start of the season. But you can't get picked if you're not playing first-team football. So, to be honest with you, I'm not massively bothered about people's international career. It goes hand in hand with Manchester United playing good football. If Manchester United are doing well, people will get playing for their national team. The fact that we've got people struggling to get in the national team says everything about United. But to be fair with you, first 2 minutes, Pereira's giving it away, Fred's giving it away. So, you've got to also be honest, which I'll always be, as will you, Marcus, isn't it? We can have our favourites, but I ain't going to hide behind it.
I think the pluses for me in the opening exchanges is the energy that Pereira and Rojo have got. They're very strong in the tackle. Pereira's already gone in with a hard shoulder and cleared someone off
that it was
pitch.
A hard shoulder and not hard something else.
And as you said, mate, Rojo going in with his feet first. So I do like the aggressiveness of that side of the game, and I do think that can only benefit United. We had Wayne Rooney as a captain when
could have been 1-0.
Yeah, could have been.
Lovely cross in by Valencia, and I think Romero either makes a save or Eric Bailly gets a block in. But it's a good start by Valencia, and Fellaini trying to put his foot in there. Pogba skips in and gets it clear. Camario, you've just made me laugh. He says, "Can anyone give me the team news?" Do you think that's just a painting to my right? Might be a little bit small on your screen, so I'll read it out. But that is the team. That's why we put it up there. If people don't want to, can't see it, maybe we'll get rid of it. But Romero, Valencia, Bailly, Jones, Rojo. United on the attack. Oh, Lukaku. Fellaini, Fred, Pogba, Mata, Lukaku, Pereira. Again, we had a stack there. It goes to Lukaku on the edge of the box. He's got people running off him, and typically his first touch lets him down.
Absolutely amazing. It's always the same story. Always the same story with this guy. But he needs to get his act together quick, because if Mourinho's not here next season, I'm hoping whoever comes in gets rid of him, or just drops him to the bench and buys us a proper Manchester United number 9.
It's not hard. It goes into his feet. All you've got to do is control it and lay it off.
It's on his left foot as well, Mark.
It's on his left foot, yeah. What happens? It bounces off him like the sponge wall. I tell you, don't ever say his first touch like a brick wall. I've told everybody it's a sponge wall. A brick wall, you can figure out where the ball's going to go. A sponge wall, anywhere. You know, that's what he is. He's a bloody sponge wall.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even got the excuse to say that the pass played into him was a bit pacey. It wasn't. It was literally just a tap into his foot, and very, very heavy first touch. But if he could have controlled the ball a little bit better, United would have been in.
Yeah.
But first 5 minutes gone. Valencia, very energetic. But United are a little bit pending.
We are. So far, I've got it right. Oh, good block, Phil Jones.
Yeah.
Kondobia into the box. Good tackle by Rojo. And a goal kick. We're hanging on here a bit.
Yeah.
Fucking terrible start.
We've not come out to play yet.
Really bad start. All over it. I told you, though, just because it's Valencia reserves, they'll pass the ball about.
Again, I hate to say it so early, but this is how United have started the majority of the games this season, apart from the Fulham game. Started very slow. Very slow. Oh dear. I actually think, looking back at the replay there, that could have been a corner, I think. So what's the benchmark? Because I've not seen the bench.
From what I remember,
Mason
Greenwood's on there, Garner's on there, Rashford's on there, Lingard's on there. I think McTominay is on. No, McTominay isn't on there. Valencia's cross is shit as per usual.
I did Mourinho say that these young kids weren't even going to be on the bench?
Yeah. So Greenwood's on the bench.
Yeah.
Well, at least United have got a bit of an attack on here. Lukaku's found Pereira. See, we're going backwards though. Go forwards, that's the way.
Yeah.
Oh, well done, Lukaku. Into Pogba. Goal kick.
And so far for me, Pogba's the only one that's looking forward and looking to spread the play from left to right.
Yeah, Grant's on the bench. Garner's on the bench. Oh, just tell you what, I'll just go and have a look. Herrera's definitely on the bench. I've got a funny feeling. Oh, I'll just go and get it. It's easier. So, Young is on the bench. So it's Grant, Young, Garner, Herrera, Lingard, Greenwood, Rashford.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very surprised though that he's gone with the two youngsters on the bench. Was there an injury to McTominay?
I don't know.
Well, I know he did say the only way that Mason was getting on the bench was a case of injury or something. So strange for him to go back on his word, really.
I think he went back on it because it's a very, very easy way to get a bit of popularity. That's why I was surprised he wasn't going to do it in the first place. People have love Rojo, but man will be is an accident waiting to happen once VAR is in place, as Vandy Candy. I think Rojo is a shit left back. I've said this for the last couple of years. I think he's a decent left-sided centre back, but left back he just turns into, awful.
Yeah. MJ says Valencia are up for this tonight. They are, mate. They're very pressing, very energetic, pressing high up the pitch.
Well, you could argue that Batshuayi is better than Lukaku. You know, both Belgian, aren't they? And
John Miller said, said on BT Sports that McTominay has a knock. Okay, cheers for that, mate.
Yeah, so that'll be why Greenwood's on the bench.
Marvin says he's injured as well, so okay.
Lukaku, interception, goes for a goal kick.
I'll
tell you what, if anyone watched my FIFA stream at lunchtime, which I normally do on That's Football, I played today, I finished with a win, and I stayed on. I wasn't going to do it. I feel a bit bad because I ended the stream, but then I played 2 more games and I won. The Machine 94 has made a contribution. He says Valencia are just destroying us, taking the bloody ball and getting it down their end way too easily. Thanks for the contribution, the Machine 94. Yeah, Valencia have started off the better team. And United have come into it a little bit in the last 5 minutes, to be fair. But they're just what they're doing is what United hate, is get the ball down and pass. And Valencia's late there.
They're actually playing football,
aren't
they?
Get booked as well. Lato. Yellow card, Valencia. It was late.
Yeah. Struan, it's on BT Sport 3 in the UK and TNT in America.
It's a nice game to watch, though. I know people have been a bit negative, but I was looking forward to this game because of the players we've got playing. And, you know, we do watch the US Tour games and we watch the bloody FA Cup games. So, you know, where we're playing Reading at home. And, you know, I think, you know, Valencia, you'd put them in the top 30 teams in Europe, maybe even in the top 20. They're a good team. I know they're having a bad season, but they're a good team. They're taking it seriously. So we have to take it seriously. We've got a massive game on Sunday. I think, you know, what's not to like about it? I'd rather be watching this than whatever crap's on normal telly. So, and it's an opportunity for players to come in and show something about them. And for me, I mean, Callum Roberts says that should have been a red by Valencia. I don't know.
He's blatantly missed the ball, even though he's pointing towards it. That he's got it.
I think he might have broke the lad's leg, though. To be honest,
that is a bad tackle. That is a bad tackle. That could have been a red. Yeah, definitely.
I don't drive a Peugeot 107. No, Squirrel Nutkin. He's hurt him. He's definitely hurt him. He's got a right cut on his shin.
Yeah, I'm surprised Mourinho's picked Valencia as captain again, seeing as he's out of favour at the minute.
He just gives it to whoever.
Oh no, he doesn't really care about it.
Whoever's been at the club the longest, he gives it them. It's Phil Jones, better be in white boots. Don't be putting the pink ones on. Yeah, he's in white boots. Yeah. Looks like he's running around in his fucking socks, the prick. Oh! Two. Sorry, I take that back. That's not right. Let's not be calling him that. He's probably a really nice bloke. He's a banter footballer who looks like he's running around in his socks. Slow by United. Look, side to side, slow. Backwards, side to side.
Yeah, I think if this was at home, you'd probably be able to get a better gist of the situation here. But because we're playing away, it's pretty obvious we're going to be a bit defensive.
Felix French says, shout out to the legends, Will Choi and Felix French. Thanks for the contribution, Felix. You did just shout yourself out, though. That's a little bit vain. United could have been in there. A little bit of a bounce ball.
Yeah.
What is that from Lukaku? Oh, it actually is a pass. It's just nearly back to the halfway line. Oh, Pereira's not having a good game.
See, the thing for me is Fred and Pogba, they are coming quite deep in the midfield as well to pick that ball up. But I think that's probably because Fellaini can't pass the ball more than like 10, 15 yards, can he really? So the gap there between the two midfielders and Fellaini is quite significant.
Valencia are down to 10 men at the moment because their player got injured by Valencia. Machine 94 says, good to see Pogba back in the side, but for how long? Who's playing good, says Martin Mullins. At the moment, I think Pogba's not had a bad start. And then that's about it. Everyone else has had a bit of a, Yeah, start so far.
Yeah, I mean, the United really haven't got into the game yet. They've not got their rhythm going.
Yeah.
It's almost, again, it's the story of two halves, isn't it? I mean, nearly 15 minutes in and we've not created nothing, not had an attempt, not even been close, which is probably what you'd expect being away in Spain.
Oh, Lukaku just controlled it and then terrible pass. Absolutely. See, when he controls it, his pass is crap.
You can't win with him, can you?
No. Just... I think Lato's going to have to come off. He's grimacing a lot.
A bit, really, yeah. I mean, that must have been a hell of a tackle by Valencia to cut him through the shin pads as well.
See, is that we do joke about that Lukaku thing, but Pogba plays a 30-yard pass into Lukaku's feet. He controls it, then passes it to a Valencia player, and we all laugh and go, Lukaku's crap. Imagine if you've got a player who does their job. That ball goes to Lukaku, he controls it and plays it to a United player. You know, you keep possession. I mean, how soul-destroying is it, and how big an impact is it having on our season that every time we hit the ball to Lukaku, there's a massive chance we're going to lose possession?
Yeah. I mean, he certainly doesn't help the cause, does he, really, for wanting to retain possession and try and dictate the pace of the game.
Clive Kennedy, thanks for the contribution. What do you use for heat maps, Mark? I haven't really used the heat maps for a while. I used to use the heat maps when we were, last season because we were quite competitive. We're so crap this year that I don't even have to go that deep into the tactics to use heat maps. But what I used to use last season was SofaScore, which is a decent app.
Well, Lukaku not really doing anything. He's not helping out the team at all. He's not chasing down. He's very static again.
OIC Solar says slow now that Pogba's back. You see, it's that sort of agenda thing I'm on about. We're not slow because Pogba's playing in the United team. There's 10 other players there. That is ridiculous to say that we're playing slow because of Paul Pogba. I mean, Marouane Fellaini's in the midfield. 1-0. Valencia. 1-0 Valencia. There we go. Avocado stab fest defence strikes again. Just stabs it straight through. Nothing there. Absolute shit. Just crap. It was coming. Absolutely coming. You could see it coming from minute one. Absolutely crap defence. I mean, I'll look forward to watching this back because the cross comes in down the right. Rojo's crap at left back, as I've said before. So I don't know how the cross comes in. But, Fellaini's legs. Rojo doesn't get the tackle in. Phil Jones running round in his white socks. Look, just can't get rid of it. Heads it down and then whack home straight through the defence. Avocado stab vest defence strikes again, Marcus. But it's Wee Willie Winky in his bloody white socks. Phil Jones, crap defender.
Well, I've got to say, mate, the clearance from Jones was not good at all. He was on the edge of the 6-yard box and tried to clear it with his head. It didn't even get out of the area. It bounced very kindly. But I mean, I'm thinking to myself, what the hell is Fellaini? And I think it was Pogba down that left-hand side.
I think it's Fellaini and Rojo, wasn't it?
Rojo, was it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what's Fellaini doing down that left-hand side for a start? He should have been marking the edge of the area. He should have been, whoever's on that side, Pereira. Should have been Pereira down there. But yeah, very sloppy by United. And like we just said, Mark, they've not got into the game at all. They've just not got their rhythm going. It's almost like they're disinterested. But very slack defending. And there's no one picking that guy up just inside the area. But again, I mean... It's the same old story. Why do we start games so fucking slow? I don't get it. I mean, okay, there's nothing really to play for, but
there is actually a lot to play for. There's pride,
at stake.
There's places, there's opportunities. But you know what annoys me the most is that actually, yet again, I keep saying this, Like, the Mourinho favourites are the players that keep constantly letting us down. You know, he tries to do agendas against people like Martial and Pogba and stuff like that. But actually, you look at that goal, it's nothing to do with Pogba. It's nothing to do with Fred. It's nothing to do with Pereira. Fellaini gets nutmegged, and Phil Jones, who he keeps picking... I don't even know why he keeps picking Phil Jones, because he could have played Rojo left centre-back. You know, Phil Jones, it's the cycle of Jones, and it gets shorter and shorter every bloody time he comes back from injury. Phil Jones gets injured, comes back, plays a couple of good games, makes a big mistake, gets injured again. But it's even shorter this time, because he's only been back about a game and a half. He'll get injured in the second half. I mean, that's the cycle of Phil Jones. Has a half-decent couple of games, makes a big mistake, sods off injured. He'll be on the phone at half-time to his wife, what we got for Christmas dinner, and get some drinking, because I won't be playing. I'm going to be injured, missus. And that's what's going to happen.
I've got to say, mate, it was Pogba and Fellaini on that left-hand side there.
Yeah, but it's Fellaini who gets nutmegged.
Fellaini gets the nutmeg, but I mean, the trouble starts. I think it starts and ends with Phil Jones there. The clearance was absolutely dire.
Oh yeah, there'll be people sticking up. There'll be people sticking up for Phil Jones there. I've played plenty of football and I've played centre back, and I would be getting absolutely slated at half time for that, because the clearance, he heads it. Here it comes. It's Pogba and Fellaini. Well, to be fair, I think Pogba has done enough with his man.
Yeah, I mean, he's made him pass the ball. That's the thing. That's all Pogba could do. I mean, Fellaini's got nutmeg.
To be honest with you, yeah, Fellaini gets nutmegged, but that Phil Jones header out.
It's so late,
It's
isn't it?
disgraceful. Put it out for a bloody corner. Don't head it to their player in the box. Anyway, here's Pereira. Hopefully we can get back into it. Nicholas P's made a contribution. He says, our spine of Lukaku, Fellaini and Jones seems to have collapsed. It ain't a spine, mate. It's a bloody jelly baby. It hasn't got a spine. It's soft.
Yeah, if there was...
Oh, here we go. Paul Dunning says it's Pogba's fault. Paul Pogba's fault for standing there in front of his man and covering space. Come on. Yeah, grow up. Get your agenda and shove it up your arse. Absolute joke. Fellaini gets nutmegged in the build-up, but to be honest with you, they've still got to cross it in, and Phil Jones should clear it. So if we're going to blame anybody, blame the obvious target. Phil Jones running around in a white pair of socks, because I'm not having that he's wearing white boots. He's just wearing his socks. That's why he's trying to head it every time.
I mean, the ball was given. I'm not sure he gave the ball away in the first place, but...
I think this game's lost already. I do.
I think normally when United go a goal down, normally it's to kick up the arse they need to come out and play football.
Yeah, but this Valencia team's way better than us, and they're at home. I said before the game, Valencia are no mugs. You know, Batshuayi doesn't even play for them. He's a good striker. Kondobia didn't play at the weekend. He's a good midfielder. I mean, their back four is a little bit dodgy, they are 15th in La Liga, so you can spin it the other way. If we lose this game, how embarrassing is that? But to be fair, they're 15th in the league. They've not had a good start to the season, but I think they're 4 points off relegation and they're 4 points off 6th, so it's quite a tight league, the La Liga league at the moment.
I think this lad's called Renegade. He says you can't blame him for the goal. Where else could he have headed at that speed? Well, he could have knocked it out for a corner, like Mark said. He could have gone for a corner.
He could have put a height. He could have put some height on it.
Yeah.
He heads it down. That's the thing. The way he heads it is terrible. That's not a defensive header. Zone. You know, if he heads it up high, that's another second in the air. It's more time for people to close him down. It's more time for him to control. It's headed down to his feet.
Yeah, I mean, it's perfectly. It's almost like a FIFA header, isn't it? Really, perfect to the opposition
Roy
player.
Keane, simply the best, has just said FIFA scripting again.
Oh, there we go.
But business says, I'm sorry, Mark, but Valencia is not way better than us. Look, when are United fans actually going to wake up and appreciate? We love Manchester United. We're Manchester United fans. But when are we going to stop being deluded and realise we're having a shit season because we're shit? Let's be honest. Valencia came to Old Trafford and played us off the park. They just couldn't score. Here we are at their place. I knew we were going to lose this game. I'm just grateful that it means we're still, we're already through. Because if we were coming here needing a result, we weren't going to get a result. They're way better than us. They play well. Results-wise, I think we can get a result, but they're a way better footballing team, and that's why they're just pinging it around all the time. I mean, that's one ball over the top, 40 yards, and they've got it now in the right wing position again.
Yeah.
I don't think Rojo even looks match fit.
Do you know what? I don't even think Fred does either, to be honest.
Well, they haven't had enough football, have they?
No. I mean, when was the last time Pogba played? About 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you love Manchester United and you're frustrated, make sure you subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner. We will have the call in after the show as per usual, match reaction, but we've got the Liverpool preview and building up for that from tomorrow. We've got fan cams out in Valencia as well. I mean, if United don't start putting in the performance in, you can only imagine what those fans who've travelled over there are going to be saying, because Mourinho might not think much of it, but apparently Mourinho cares more about United than anybody. Yeah, ex-Chelsea fan on millions of pounds a year cares more about United than United fans who follow them all around the world for years and years and years. What a crap statement that is as well. I know he's trying to make out that he loves the club and everything, but you don't care more about United. In fact, you probably don't even know anything about United longer than 5 years ago. You certainly don't know what our playing style is. You certainly don't know what our approach to youth is. So I would argue you don't care about United at all.
Yeah, very. I mean, United, again, just over 25 minutes. We've not had an attempt at goal yet either. So it's the same old pattern. The same old pattern. No matter whether it's home or away, it's exactly the same.
Sharath Kamath Fitness says Jose plays Pereira in a left wing position and expects him to play well. Maybe Jose wants to say later that this is why some of them don't play. Oh, 100%. 100%. If this game finished like this, it'd be straight out. This is why I play my favourites, I think Pogba's done all right in a team that's playing crap.
Do you know what? I wouldn't say that. I would say they've all been piss poor, to be honest. They just don't look at the races at all.
Well, it is a mismatch as well. When has this 11 played together before? You've got two centre-backs I don't think they've played together for ages. You've got Valencia's hardly been playing. Mata's in. Ooh, goal corner? Corner, yeah. You've got Lukaku, Mata and Pereira never played together. You've got Fellaini, Fred and Pogba. Don't think they've ever played together. Rojo playing his first game at left back. Romero, first game in goal in ages. So, it is a mismatch.
Yeah, definitely. It's just, this is the problem with Mourinho just always playing his favourites. No one else is getting a look in. No one else is getting used to the team. Fred should have been bedded in from the start, not been left out, like a black sheep. But
it's Pereira. Can he put a decent cross in? It is a good cross, and Lukaku takes it off Fellaini's foot from an offside position. Twat.
Terrible. But the second half, we should be a bit better. According to form, we should be better in the second half. So we can only hope. But Phil Jones is
crap.
Yeah. Well, mate,
Complete
I'm the same
sentence.
person that. But how he's looking for a new contract, I don't know.
Apparently, he's got a tent and a sleeping bag outside the office waiting for it. Man United Boy 13, thanks for the contribution. He says, so, would an injured Lindelof be better than Jones at this point? I would say yes. Look, anybody who understands football will know that defensive header was shocking.
Yeah. I actually do think United had a shout for a penalty a few moments ago as well.
On Lukaku?
No, there was when Mata took that shot.
Right.
It hit the defender on the arm, and then the goalie palmed it away. So again, seen them given.
How's Pereira doing? Says Amelia Time. Not very well. I don't think anybody's done very well. I'd agree.
Yeah. No one's. The United players just they've not got the grips with the game at all.
The young boys have got a penalty. Don't worry about it. We'd have to win to go past Juventus. That is not going to happen. We won't win unless we do what we did in Turin and just scam 2 late goals. I don't think. And even if we do score, how How boring is it that we play crap football and then have to rely on set pieces?
Yeah, it's such a shame
that's
how far we've fallen there.
Eric Bay is going to get booked, I think, for going in on the keeper. That's a bit of a dodgy yellow card.
That is, yeah.
Ridiculous, ref.
He's got the challenge for the ball. He's within his rights to do that.
Robert Moore says, the thing that stands out the most, Mark, is that no matter what lineup we play, the football is the same. Only comes from one person, Robert Moore. Yellow card for Bay.
No.
I don't agree with that.
Nah.
I'd have to see it again, but I don't think it's a yellow card on Bay.
I think Young Boys have scored their penalty as well. Yeah.
Oh no, maybe it was a yellow card. I think it was a yellow card by Bay, to be fair. Ref's looking right at it and he ain't looking at the ball. Fair, well, it's a bit soft, to be fair. Football Index Friday, enjoying it, says Clive Kennedy. Yeah, I'll mention it on Friday for you, mate. Yeah, I've got Mason Greenwood's making me money. Young Boys are winning 1-0. It only matters if we actually get into a winning position, doesn't it? My score prediction was 1-1. Maybe we'll get 1-1. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're trying to get up to 313,000 subscribers. So if you like United content or laughing at United or whatever your background is, we are live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got call-ins, we've got fan cams, we got previews, we got transfer news, we got the lot on the United stand. And no matter how shit United are, we are fans. We're not going anywhere. But we will say it how it is. Or how we think it is, because that's what fan opinion's all about. Another cross comes in. Well, should have been 2-0.
Should have been.
Batshuayi's basically Lukaku. I've heard that before. Who's crapper? Who is crapper? Batshuayi or Lukaku?
Should have been 2, definitely. I mean, the game should have been buried now. Should have been over. Oh, man.
Absolute sitter of a header for him.
Yeah. What a miss. What a miss. Dear oh dear. Kyle says, how did he miss that? Don't know. I mean, whoever was tracking him just did not do their job. I'm going to say, I think it was Valencia that was tracking him. Absolutely nowhere near him. But yeah, right in front of the goal. Romero just puts his hand up as though he's looking there doing something, but terrible.
Well, Mourinho doesn't look interested, does he?
No, he doesn't. He never looks interested, Mark. He never looks interested.
No, to be fair, I think over the last few weeks he has been very animated, but I don't think he's been off his bench yet. Bio20 says, this is Valencia's B team. I'm embarrassed. Hashtag Jose out. There are a lot of B team players for Valencia, but I told you, don't be... corner here. Don't be... the reality is, they all train together, don't they? 22 players in a first team squad, sometimes more. Just because they're Valencia B team players, they don't all play hoofball. They'll play the way the first team plays, and that's what I said. They'll knock the ball around the ground. Why people thought we were going to start knocking the ball around on the ground because we've got Pogba, Valencia... Sorry, not Pogba, Fred and Pereira playing. Well, I'm sure they'd like to play that standard of football, but it's not what our manager wants to do.
Do you know what? I actually thought we were shocking in the reverse fixture in October, I think it was, against Valencia. But this is even worse.
Good save, Romero.
Yeah.
Oh, Batshuayi again.
Missed
no,
again.
It's not Batshuayi that time. Let him off. It wasn't Batshuayi, but it could have been 2-0.
Well, it should have been 3. Game out of sight already, maybe.
Thanks.
Valencia will rue these missed chances at the minute because United are absolutely just sitting ducks here at the minute.
I tell you what, it's a good job he misses that because Fellaini would be getting a few pelters there.
Yeah. They're just absolutely not doing anything at all.
Well, we've got another nasty foul here, I think. Let's have a watch of it back. We missed it. I mean, BT are bloody slow, aren't they? We missed that.
They are,
was it BT against the Arsenal game when we missed the
Yeah,
Lingard goal? They show too many
one.
replays. Like, we've just missed that foul on Rojo. It didn't look that bad, to be fair. BT Sports, stop showing so many replays. Round of 16 draw is on Monday at 11 o'clock. We'll be live on the United Stand for that, for the last round 16 draw of the Champions League. I think we're in for a tough draw, because I think the only team that's half decent is we might be is Porto. The rest of them, it's like PSG, Bayern, Real Madrid, Barcelona. Good play there.
You know what? I don't even think
backwards matter.
I don't think you can say the Porto.
Good play, United there. Kept it on the ground, moved it.
I think what happened last season with Sevilla, you can't say that Porto is going to be.
No, well, so bad. You know,
yeah.
you just look at it and go, they're probably the worst team. But you know, we're going to finish second in the group, aren't we? So we're going to get a tough team. Fellaini wide. What a miss. Was he offside, Pogba? I hope he was.
I think he was. Yeah.
Oh, you're going to get pelters for that.
Golden opportunity that was.
Let's have a watch. Fellaini, he's not. He's onside.
No, he's on. Yeah.
Bloody hell.
What a chance that was.
Oh, you're going to get some pelters for that.
First real attempt for United. Should have made use of that opportunity.
He's got to score that. That's if that's Lukaku, he's getting absolutely battered, isn't he? So.
Well, I think if that's anyone, mate, anyone misses a chance like that, that's got to be on target at least, at the very least, man of that quality.
Well, maybe it'll give him a kick up the backside, because it was a lazy finish for sure.
Almost too casual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But having said that, you know, if his mind, I don't think. How many of these players have got the right mindset? And I don't mean like that they're not playing for the badge, they're not playing for the manager, but more like they're not playing regularly. They probably don't feel very happy in themselves that they're not playing regularly. And it's all right, everyone's saying, well, they're playing now, they've got to take that opportunity. But human beings don't work like that. Some people, you know, they lack confidence. That, you know, that their mind's not right. You know, they know that this is a B team, United team. They know that the manager's not really interested in it. They know that they're not playing on Sunday. So maybe, you know, some players are a little bit like that. Phil Jones just been mugged off there, but well done, Eric Bailly.
I think the lad with the most point to prove to Mourinho is Pereira for me. You know, Mourinho didn't want him to go on loan again this season. Convinced him to stay, said he'd get more opportunities, more game time. It's not happened so far.
No, he's just giving the ball away again there. Yeah. He's very energetic. To be honest with you, again, I just hope that Pereira stays at the club and we get a different manager in who can maybe coach him into the player that he can be. Because I think he's got the attributes, but I just think this style of football under Mourinho actually does suit Giants, because we spend so much time with the ball in the air. We're not a team that uses the ball on the ground.
No,
and we're not used to it, and we've got players who struggle with that. He's not off. Phil Jones, he's not offside. What have you got your hand up for?
That was like your again, like Eric Bailly on FIFA, wasn't it, for you?
Yeah.
There's so many similarities.
Good tackle there by Fred. Bloody hell, it should have been 2-0 again. Jared Pesserman says you can't blame Jay-Z for that one. Pogba is just trash. Yeah, you see, I like Jared, but I don't like that opinion. But you know, some people have made their mind up about Pogba. Yeah, but I tell you what, I can blame Jared. I can blame Mourinho for the crap tactics, the embarrassing performance so far, for picking Phil Jones. I can blame him for that. You know, Pogba's miss. Actually, to be honest with you, do we deserve to be 1-1 in the context of the game? I would say not. So you can deal Pogba card. Of course, he missed a good chance, but I play back. We're playing shit, and the tactics are crap, and the manager's crap. So there we go.
Yeah, I think what this team is missing most of all is just someone to take control.
Yeah,
there's no leaders on the pitch. Yeah, there's no leaders on the pitch at all. Especially in this team, no one just. I mean, Fred has been non-existent in this half. Absolutely non-existent. And Lukaku, we all know the trouble with Lukaku, but when you got the Valencia reserve team causing problems like they are at the minute, there's no excuse for that. There really isn't. We've got an experienced right back in there who's also the captain, who's not leading the team at all.
Yeah. I was thinking whether that was a penalty on Fred there. I'd like to see that one back. Contribution from Philip Burtonwood. He says, not one of these players deserves to be in the starting 11 come Sunday. This 11 should be beating Valencia. Awful. See, I disagree with that, Philip. I agree with you saying that they shouldn't start on Sunday. But where are people getting off saying this is... I don't know. What world do you live in that you're saying Valencia, we've got a right to beat Valencia? I don't get it. It's Christmas time. And there is reason to be afraid because we've been shit all season. We've got no right. When have we been to Spain and played a Spanish team off the park recently? I can't think of a time. Even under Sir Alex Ferguson, we played Bilbao in the Europa League and they played us off the park over 2 legs. I don't know why people think we're going to go to Spain and beat even a Valencia half B team. No, we're terrible. We're a terrible footballing team. It's not embarrassing to lose to Valencia. I would have thought Valencia would have been favourites, to be honest.
I think with that comment, I think if you look at it, man for man, we should be rolling teams like this over, man for man. But obviously, it's played out on the pitch. It's 11 against 11, and
but man for man, just to come in there, and I'll let you come back on it. Man for man's great, but how many times have our man for man players played together?
Well, this is it.
It's a mismatch. He's chucked a load of players out there, and I'm sure he'll throw them under the bus afterwards and say, well, this is why I don't play them. But he's chucking 11 strangers together and saying, go and beat a team that actually... Valencia may be 15th in the league, but they're playing exactly the same the way they did at Old Trafford. They've got an identity. They've got a philosophy, and it might be their reserves, but within their squad, within their training, everybody knows if there's an injury or anything like that, this is how we play. And it'll be down to the way the positioning of the centre-backs. When such and such is on the ball, we need to be here. They've got fluidity. They've got an identity. And it is their reserves, but they know how to play. So we've got the better players, I agree. But we haven't got an identity or a philosophy. It's just 11 strangers playing together.
Yeah,
which is what our first team plays like as well. It's no reflection of these players. I mean, let's be honest. If this was our first team, would we be winning? I wouldn't be confident.
Yeah, I mean, I can see what you're saying, but I think the quality at the end, the quality should shine through, no matter really who's in charge. It's just a shame that Mourinho is just not getting the quality out of these players. I mean, again, we've coming up to half time, we've had 1 attempt. It just ain't good enough. If we were actually playing to win this game, if this game mattered, would we be playing like this? I think we would do, because this is the way Mourinho plays. I don't think our game plan or our tactics would have changed any bit in this first half. Okay, a couple of the personnel would have been changed, but if you look at who's injured and who's fit, who would really come in here? Rashford would come in. Probably Luke Shaw. I mean, if he's fully fit, obviously De Gea would come in. Would De Gea have stopped that goal? I don't think so.
No.
So, I mean, even if it was our proper first team 11, whatever that is, I don't think it would have changed the way we approach this game, especially in the first half anyway. The only person that's making any significant runs here from the midfield, to me, it's Pogba. Fred is non-existent, as I've said. He's not involved in the game whatsoever. Fellaini is sitting back too far. Pereira, bundles of energy out on the left-hand side, but he's not getting the ball.
Batshuayi shoots wide.
Yeah, again. I mean, again, why is the closing down is so slow again? They're coming down our left-hand side. I'm surely...
Well, he's running off Fred there, and then... I mean, Phil Jones is moaning at the midfield, but that's your man, Phil.
Yeah.
There's 2 centre-backs on 1 forward, and you lose your man and start shouting at the midfield, which might be to do with a couple of phases of play before, but the reality is, That's your midfielder. I mean, that's your striker. That's why he's gone down injured now.
I mean, the best of it is, after that passage of play, you got Phil Jones there screaming his head off. Well, what are you screaming your head off for? You should be able to deal with that. Make a tackle. Don't stand off him.
Jack Coleman says Fred's confidence has been destroyed. Been sat on his arse for 6 months, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Sat on his arse at the World Cup, comes to United, sits on his arse, and then let's not forget, he's brand new to the league, he's brand new to the team, he's hardly played any bloody football. When he has played, I think he's played well. He played well against Wolves, he played well against Young Boys, and he gets subbed off after an hour. He even said that in the interview himself, didn't he? He says, I was playing really well and I got subbed off. So there's no consistency with him to be able to adjust himself to the team. Mark L with the biggest if in the world. He says Juventus are losing. If we win, we top the group. I'll tell you what, mate. If we win, you get a free United top, and I'll send you a free United top. If we win, free United top of your choice, 100%. We ain't gonna win this game. I mean, never say never, because we shouldn't have beat Juventus, but there you go. Adam K says Juventus are losing. How are we this bad? Well, we should be going all out to try and top this group. Although, are Juventus going to lose that game? Seriously?
Wouldn't have thought so.
But having said that, if we look at the lineup for Juventus, I'd be very surprised if it's their first team. Although it is. Ronaldo, Mandzukic, Costa, Bernardeschi, Bentancur, Pjanic, Bonucci, Reggiani, Chesney. So it is pretty much their first team they've played as well. Haven't rested many, so yeah, that's not going to finish 1-0, is it?
No. You'd imagine Mandzukic and Ronaldo to get a chance and put it away. Those sort of players, they only need one or two opportunities and it's in the net. Apparently City are losing as well. Jackie Boy says Liverpool will murder us on Sunday if we play like this. Yeah. Well, there's nowhere for Mourinho to hide. There really isn't.
Yeah, but how often does football work like that? You beat bottom of the league, everyone gets excited. You go to Valencia, you get embarrassed. Everyone will spend the next few days saying we're going to get smashed by Liverpool, and then Mourinho will produce some park the bus tactic that gets us a 0-0 draw, or maybe even wins it. And then that wouldn't surprise me if we lost tonight and then we got something against Liverpool, because it's like everyone, when you expect something with United, the opposite tends to happen.
Yeah, I just think that Liverpool side have got way too much attacking talent to not turn us over. I don't care what Mourinho does at Anfield. I just don't see anything other than a Liverpool win, unfortunately.
Oh, Valencia in again. They're doing little back heels. See, Phil Jones clears it better that time. Needs to put some bloody football boots on.
Dedium says, Marcus, I say we bring back Makeda. He's even better than Lukaku. We could probably do with him now, to be honest.
Well, it's half time.
Yep.
And it's 1-0. And I tell you what I would say. This team ain't playing for Mourinho, Marcus.
No.
I don't even know if they know what they're meant to be doing for Mourinho, but they're definitely not playing for Mourinho. I mean, there's one or two things, and I don't know. I can't give you the answer to this, but they're either not playing for Mourinho or they don't know how to play for Mourinho. Because yet again, we've had an embarrassing Manchester United half of football, and it is embarrassing. Valencia 1-0 up, deservedly, but. All right, Pogba had a good chance, but Batshuayi had a good chance. So let's say it's 2-1. We don't deserve to be 1-1 because of that Pogba chance, because Batshuayi missed an absolute sitter as well. But in a footballing sense, much like the Old Trafford game where we got a point, Valencia, a footballing sense, is just streets ahead of us. The way they're passing it around, they're moving, they're creating space, they're getting into dangerous situations. And again, we're just lethargic, panicked. We really are We really are the proverbial panicking like a bloody cat trying to bury a shit on a marble floor. It's terrible. It really is, isn't it? It really is not good.
It is, yeah. And I've got to say, it's torture to watch these games this season and to do the shows with you, because you just,
Thanks,
you try and be positive, but you know in your heart of hearts what's coming. You really do. And, I predicted a win for United 2-1. I'm starting to think now, did I really believe it could happen? Probably not. But it's just trying to be positive, because I never like writing United off out of anything, but the way we're playing is absolutely shambolic. It's like we're playing like a side that's in a relegation battle, to be honest. There's no confidence in this team. There's no communication. The passing is poor. When we can't pass it, we're just lumping it up to someone who can't control it and just giving possession away. And it's absolutely horrendous to watch. It really is. It's Mourinho, whatever he's bought, who he's bought into this team, they're just not cutting it. They're really not cutting it. And
just to jump in there, I mean, obviously the Pogba miss was bad, but I actually think Pogba was one of the better bad players in that half. If you want to have a go at Pogba, that's fine. I think it's an agenda, and I think it's unfair to go in on one player, because I thought Fred, who I like, was crap. Pereira, who I like, was very crap. Lukaku, again, was crap. Phil Jones, crap. Rojo, crap. Valencia, crap. Eric Bailly wasn't too bad, to be fair. Fellaini, crap. Mata, not too bad. So most of the team, pretty shit, to be honest. I mean, James Aaron says, and thanks for the contribution, he says, no width, no plan, no clear tactics, poor from Jose. And I think that is the thing for me. If this was an isolated game, and we were generally quite a good team, I would say, such and such, you've been given an opportunity, it's poor. But this is every week. Every single week we see this sort of performance from United. And you can replace those players with Lingard, Martial, Rashford, whoever. We still wouldn't create many chances, and we'd still be playing this backwards, negative Jurassic Park football. And I will defend the players. I'm sorry, there were some really bad performances out there, but I think we live in this myth world where people think players can go out and win football games on their own. That world doesn't exist anymore. You can't stick Messi in MK Don's team and beat Arsenal. You can't. We live in a tactical world. The football is so quick. You've got to have talented players will make a difference in a system that is vibrant and progressive. They can't do it in that sort of system. It's so static and slow. Every United player takes about a touch and looks up. You shouldn't be doing that. It should be programmed in your mind. When I get the ball, I know he's making that run. Get it and pass it off. Every United player is always looking up like, what the hell am I going to do with this ball? Am I going to knock it to my wingers who are slow? Am I going to knock it to Lukaku, who's going to bounce it into somebody's face? There's no options. There are no options. And I tell you what, Lukaku is a massive problem, Marcus. You talked about it in the first half. He can't spin and run because he's too slow. He can't have it to feet because it bounces off him. He can't hold it up and pass it off because he can't pass. He's almost a redundant striker at the moment. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, sometimes you say quite often about certain players, it's almost like we're playing with 10 men, and I think this is a prime example. Lukaku, I've said it from day one, he is not a top quality striker for a top club. He really isn't. He's only got 1 foot. He's so cumbersome. All right, he was putting the goals away for Everton, but Everton had a system, they had a style, they had a game plan. No matter which manager they had, they were feeding him the ball and he was putting them away. But
get a lot more space for Everton as well.
Yeah. But I mean, for Manchester United, spending that sort of money to be your main number 9, I thought was a bad move in the first place, because again, you can only play him one way, and that is he's got to play for his left foot. Opposition defenders know exactly where he's going to go. He's not the mould of Van Nistelrooy or dare I say it, a Michael Owen. They could score. They were predators. Like your Andy Cole, they could score with both feet. Lukaku is 1-footed, very much the same like White Matter out on the wing. It just doesn't work because you know what he's going to do. It's so simple. It don't take a rocket scientist to work out where they're going to go, where they're going to play, and how they're going to play. All Lukaku's got going for him at the minute is if his back is to the defender, he's going to try and throw his muscle about, throw his weight around, and try and outbully him. But you can't even do that. So, I mean, for me, I think I've said it for a couple of transfer windows now. We need another striker. I've never rated that guy. He's good for a mid-table team, but for a top-class team, would he get in City squad? No. Would he get in Arsenal's? No. Chelsea's? No. Spurs? No. And yet we've got him. We've got a striker who is so cumbersome, so static, lethargic, horrendous first touch, and that's what we're relying on. And it just doesn't work. It really doesn't. But I'm going to disagree with you, mate. I think the whole team has been atrocious that first half. I don't think anyone's had a good game. And I mean anyone. I think Pogba has been awful. He's made a couple of good runs, but he's not been found. The same as Pereira. He's made a couple of good runs down that left-hand side. He's not been found because the ball play is just too slow. And Lukaku, when he's holding up the ball, he's not looking for the runner because his first touch is terrible, absolutely terrible, man. It's pointless trying to play the ball on the ground to him. You might as well just lump it. Plan B, like we do with Fellaini. Just lump it up to him and just see what he does.
Well, Bing Dang Hours made a contribution. He says, in what world is Fellaini a CDM? Awful. Yeah, I actually hoped he might have a better game than Matic, to be honest. We're probably better than him. They're just showing the Pogba miss again. It is a bad miss, but the reality is they just showed about 4 good chances for Valencia before that. So they've had good chances. But, it's like you said, he's too casual on that finish. It's almost harder to put it where he's put it. But he's casual. I don't think he's switched on. And look, people will say, well, he should be switched on. It's not acceptable. No. Look, mate, people, if you don't understand what people are like, I'm sorry, we're not all like you. He should be switched on. You don't know what crap he's going through. You don't know how his mind works. You don't know how fed up he is with Mourinho. He probably isn't switched on. You're right. Whose fault is that? Is it his fault? Or is it the way he's being treated at the club's fault? And, he wouldn't be the only one, would he? Martial wasn't switched on last season. Sanchez hasn't been switched on since we made him the most expensively played player in the club. Dylan Walsh says, if we lose De Gea next season, God bless us. Well, it won't just be him. We could lose Pogba. We could lose Martial. We could lose De Gea. And then it doesn't matter who comes in. Far too slow. Our build-up play is shocking, says Charlie Davenport. Thanks for the contribution. Remember, if you're going to do that, it's the $ below the live comments, but please do leave us a comment to read out. Marcus, I suppose the positive is United are a bit like you. They do like it from behind. So we might come back this second half.
That's a good one, mate. That's a good one. Credit for that one. They might come back second half, but you know what? I just remembered. I mean, I've just seen a couple of comments in the comment section talking about Greenwood. I'd chuck him on.
It's a debate, isn't it? It's a debatable one because he's a kid, isn't he?
Mate, to be honest, if he's on the bench, he's good enough. If you're good enough, you're old enough.
To be honest, I'd put Phil and Grant up front instead of Lukaku. Anybody's better.
You can't get no worse, right? He's no way is that kid going to give you worse than what Mourinho's getting out of Lukaku in that first half, right? Because the kid is going to give you energy. He's going to give you the tenacity. He's going to chase it down. He's going to want to prove a point that he can do it in the first team. But will Mourinho take that risk? No, of course he wouldn't. Of course he won't, because Lukaku's his man. But for me, I think just to add that bit of excitement, that little bit of...
Yeah, at least we'll be attentive and watching, won't we?
Yeah, you know what I mean? We'll be up on our seats watching, thinking, well, you know what I mean? Let's have a look at this kid in the first team, in the Champions League. Let's see how he goes about his business. He's been banging them in for the reserves. So why not? Why not? We're losing the game. So we're chasing it. If Mourinho wants to win it, we're chasing the game. That's his option for a striker.
Well, Juventus are losing, so, hypothetically, we could finish top of the group still. Anket Luthra says, Rashford on for Fred on the left wing, Andreas in the middle. Yeah, he might make a change. Be careful about that, because he might make a change. He might bring Herrera on and take Fred off, which I think would be, where does Fred go from here if he pulls him off at half time? I mean, I couldn't think of anything worse being pulled off by Mourinho at half-time, but I'm not talking about that. I mean, if he takes him off and what does that do to somebody's confidence as a new signing who's hardly played any football and he takes him off? I don't want to see that happen, really. I'd more like to say just play through it, keep going. But is Mourinho that sort of manager? I'd rather that.
Fred is probably rubbing his hands together, thinking, "Oh, okay, look, I'm in the team tonight. I've got a chance for making the team Sunday." Mourinho pulls him off 60 minutes, 65 minutes. Fred's confidence is shot again, back to square one. You can't keep building up your players like that and knocking them down just because you want to show who's boss.
Because it's not working, is it? I know people say, "Oh, it works with Luke Shaw, it works with Martial." Did it work with Mkhitaryan? No, he's no longer at the club. No. Has it worked with Eric Bailly? Not really. Is it working with Pogba? Not really. People want to focus on, it's worked with Martial and worked with Shaw. But Martial's only got in the team because people were injured. Lingard and Sanchez got injured, so he had to play Martial. He didn't play him because of a change in attitude. He had to play him. And Martial scored goals. Luke Shaw is a prime example of, Luke Shaw has worked under the Mourinho way. But a lot of the players haven't. Super Scotty Boy 88 says, "Do you think Mourinho will see the season out?" Well, we'll speak about that in a minute. Just want to say, please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got a Liverpool fan on tomorrow night from a Liverpool fan channel. It's going to be interesting. 8 o'clock live tomorrow night. We've got fan cams. Interested to see. Flex will be interviewing the fans after the game. All those people who've travelled over. What do they think? We've got call-in. We've got loads of stuff. So subscribe if you're new. Very interesting time with United at the moment. And I think the next 12 months is going to be very interesting as well. Big things have to happen one way or another. So subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Get involved. You're going to enjoy it, I'm sure. It's a fantastic community. But do you think Mourinho will see out the season, everybody? And let us know in the live comments. I'll read some of them out. And Marcus, do you think he's going to see out the season?
I think from a business point of view and Woodward and the Glazers' point of view, I think you'd have to say yeah. I hope he doesn't, to be honest. I turned against him, I think it was the Spurs game when we got beat 3-0 at Old Trafford this season. But it's woeful. The football, clearly something is wrong here. You've got the fresh players playing tonight and their A game is absolutely atrocious. And I think the reason why we're seeing, Pogba play poorly, Fred playing poorly, all these flair players that we've got is because Mourinho just doesn't want to play modern day football. He still wants to stick to the football that was so successful with him at Madrid and, the Portos, the Chelseas. And it doesn't work now in this day and age. We've got players there that like the ball at their feet, like to beat a man, like to hug the touchlines, run at the opposition, but Mourinho's style doesn't allow that. So those players are useless to us, absolutely useless. The team is set up and the tactics is set up for the Fellaini's, the Matic, McTominay's, Lukaku's. This team isn't for Pogba, Martial, Rashford, Fred, Mata, because they're all being played out of position as well. So it doesn't really benefit anyone apart from the players that are over 6'2". So it's pretty pointless, mate. It's pretty pointless. These good players that we have that we can build a team around going forward, being there. And if Mourinho is still in charge next season, which I hope to God he's not, then the likes of Martial and De Gea leave with my best wishes.
Well, Aquaman, I don't know who you support, but just picking up on what Marcus says there, he says your club's in a mess. We are in a mess, and there are, I look at the mess that Arsenal have been in, Liverpool have been in. There are parallels. Do I think Mourinho will last the season? I think the club will sack him when we can't be in the Champions League anymore. So he could be gone.
February, does it?
Yeah, but mathematically, I think. How soon can we mathematically not get top four? I mean, if results keep going badly, then it could be February. I reckon around, Moyes went at the end of March, didn't he? So
yeah,
I don't know. Ashley Young coming on, we would expect that's for Rojo.
Well, I mean, is that going to make us any better? Is that going to make us put the ball in the net? No, it's not. And that's probably a change. So Ashley Young gets down the wing and can put a ball into the box. And just goes to prove my point. I just said this team is suited for the players 6'2" plus.
Yeah, it is Rojo. You know? I didn't think that Rojo looked fit though. I didn't think he looked fit. Ashley Young on for Rojo then.
That's probably a change Mourinho didn't want to make, to be honest, because I would have thought Ashley Young would have started Sunday. See, Mohammed Yusuf says, nonsense, Marcus. This squad, regardless of the manager, isn't good enough. We've been through 3 managers now and nothing's changed. Wake up. Well, see, I mean, I think we've got the players there. I really do.
And also there. On that, that's the sort of thing Gary Neville says. Oh, you know, what's going to change with a new manager? Well, it'll change if we appoint the right manager.
The style of play. Yeah, the style of play for a start.
Our board I agree with Gary Neville. The board's the problem because they keep appointing. But I don't agree with Gary Neville that we should stick by the manager. I think the problem to me is abundantly clear, and I think football's very, very simple. The problem with Manchester United is, we've had 3 managers, and that's 3 managers too many. But all 3 managers, look at their style of play. They're pragmatic defensive coaches. What are Manchester United? Even our biggest rival would say Manchester United are not that sort of club. Good knockdown by Lukaku from a ball from Pogba there. Mata wants it there. He's playing for that free kick because he knows he can score from there. Man United Boy 13's made a contribution. He says, I've been Jose out since day one. Never liked him, nor his tactics. He bullies players and freezes them out. He's a snake that only cares about himself. Hard, harsh words, but I'm sure some people will agree with them.
No, it's just the thing that really, really grinds my gears is the way he treats the players. And I'm going to go back.
Phil Jones has scored an own goal! Oh, there he is! Bloody in his socks again! I told you about Phil Jones! Mr. Salmon Boots!
We said it.
Bloody clown pants! Get him a clown nose and a wig. He is atrocious, isn't he? Panics. He's panicking. He is. He's panicking like that bloody cat trying to bury a shit on a marble floor, and he sticks his foot out, terrified, and he put his bloody... This is banter. What are you doing? What are you doing?
He's left his brain in the dressing room. What the hell? I mean... He's looking around as if to say I'm being grabbed from behind. But Phil, you got to the ball first, man.
There's no one touching you. You're there first. Why are you passing it to the keeper in the first place? It's a brilliant finish. Lukaku would be proud of that one. Bloody hell. But the thing is, this is what we're on about, though. We're all having a laugh, aren't we? We're all having a laugh because we don't want to cry about it. Because, you know what? There's no such thing as coincidence in life. There is themes. Lukaku is not a very good striker. Phil Jones consistently makes mistakes and costs you games. The FA Cup final, the game against Spurs.
What a great first time hit from him. Straight in the centre of the net. Brilliant goal by a defender, but fucking cry. I mean, even Fred's there thinking, Jesus, what have I done? Oh my god. The guy's just... he's comical, really. He really is.
I can't even get mad anymore.
Nah, it's just not worth
How
it.
can you get mad about something that you know? You know, you get mad about things that surprise you, don't you? That don't surprise me. Calamity defending and scores in his own bloody net. I mean, you've got to laugh. But this is the manager. Why is Phil Jones still at the club? He's injury prone and he's crap. Who else would have him at their club? He's stealing a living. And people think that's harsh, but it's true. He's probably a really nice guy. But you know what? I've said this before. My postman's a nice guy. He ain't playing for Man United, is he? He's an app. You know, I've said this so many times. This could be Raphael Varane. But if he's injured for half a game a season, get rid of him. He ain't Raphael Varane, is he? He's Raphael the Van Man. He's crap. He's absolutely crap.
If he had quality, you could see why the managers stick with him.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. He does not have any quality to his game whatsoever. He's just a laugh. He really is. Everyone knows he shouldn't be playing.
He's my player of the season so far because we're a banter club and he's the most banter player we've got. Give him player of the year. He absolutely symbolises our season. Calamity banter.
Well, I mean, we did talk about him being outside the office waiting for his contract, didn't
Well, it doesn't help the fact that he's playing in his socks. Get some bloody football boots on. Bread Jedi, what is more worrying is that I didn't even react when Jones put that in. The passion is draining from me. You're right. You know, I'm bordering on laughing. I don't even know why. Brad the lad says Phil Jones missed the penalty to get us knocked out of the cup against Derby as well. Yeah, mate, look, as I said, there's no such thing as coincidence. Like, I keep saying this. The reason United are terrible, I was saying this before, Marcus, the reason Man United are terrible is because when we were good, there'd be 8 or 9 players that everyone agreed were good. There'd be 1 or 2 that people were divided on, and there might be 1 player that we all thought was shit. You look at the United team now, there's 1 or 2 players we all agree are good. There's 6 or 7 players that everyone's divided on, and there's 6 or 7 players that everyone thinks shit. The balance is totally wrong in the team. You know, look at Liverpool fans, look at Man City, look at Chelsea, look at Spurs. They would agree that 7 or 8 of their first team are really good players, and they don't moan about them. There'll be 2 or 3 dividers, 1 that they think is just a bit shit. But our team is just full of crap. Absolutely full of it. The Machine 94 says, "Get out of here, Jones, you rubbish." Look, who picks Phil Jones? Why is Phil Jones still at the club? In the last 5 years, he's not managed to play half the games because he's injured. And on top of that, he's just... I hate saying this about a professional footballer because, you know, he is a person. But this is my club. He's awful. He's awful. If you play him in a game of football, he will cost you games. We didn't win the FA Cup final because of him. And Chelsea fans say, oh, Hazard won it. Phil Jones won it. Come on. Phil Jones won it for you because he's crap.
Yeah, definitely. I think totally agree, mate. I think there's a good handful of players that need to be out the door in the summer. And for me, I know people can laugh and joke about Fellaini, but I mean, come on, be serious now. Fellaini is nowhere near as bad as him. Nowhere near. The guy, you just don't know. He's either going to cost you a penalty or he's going to cost you a goal, no matter what he does. You know, there's a reason everyone calls Jones and Smalling Chuckle Brothers, because they're both, well, I wouldn't say they're both the same, but Phil Jones is the worst centre-back we've got, possibly one of the worst centre-backs in the league. Absolutely terrible, and he serves no purpose at Manchester United. Always injured, unreliable. He's just, he's awful. Absolutely awful player. I mean, the players are looking around now, looking at themselves.
Well, you know, Byron Hall's just made a great contribution here. He says a centre-back won't make a difference. Imagine taking Phil Jones out of every game he's played and drop a good centre-back in there. He's basically saying a good centre-back will make a difference. Well, no. It'll make a difference to a certain extent, mate, but what if the good centre-back's Eric Bailly? You know, the good centre-back can't control the whole back four. You know, you just if United have got a good centre-back, you just target the crap one. And that's what they did there. You know, the good centre-back could have been Eric Bailly there. Eric Bailly's got nothing to do with that goal. That's Phil Jones's responsibility with Batshuayi. And he messes it up. This could be an absolute...
Yeah, you got to remember as well, Phil Jones was in front of Batshuayi. He had it under control.
Oh, yeah. He panics. He panics.
The guy is just a liability. Absolute fucking joker.
He's like a cat's tail in a rocking horse factory. He's absolutely terrified. He's a shit defender. That's what he is.
Yeah, if Mourinho said, look, I want to bring in a centre-back because I want rid of a couple or one that I've already got. And if that one was Phil Jones, I'd be all for it. I really would. I say, he'd have my blessing to get a centre-back to get rid of him.
You know what, though, in seriousness, I hate this. I'm not that person. I'm not that person who likes to criticise players of my own club. But it is my club. It's your club. It's not acceptable. This is not acceptable. And I don't like criticising the players. But if these players weren't wearing my club's shirt, I wouldn't need to criticise them. This is the problem. This has been going on for 6 years now. There's too many players wearing a Manchester United shirt who aren't good enough to wear it. And that's why they get criticised. I don't have to be nice about people just because they're human beings. They're crap. They should not be wearing a Manchester United shirt. It's as simple as that. And we're looking to reward him with a new contract. That's the scary thing. You reward mediocre crap, you play crap.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Ashley Young, has he signed a 1-year extension yet?
Oh, yeah, he's another one.
Yeah, he's another one. I mean, Valencia as well. Yeah, we shouldn't be hanging on to these sort of players. Not when you look at Delo coming through, Fosun Mensah on loan, Twan Seavy's on loan. You know, we shouldn't be hanging on to 33, 34-year-olds, asking them to stay, paying extortionate amount of money just to keep them. It's absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Ilyas Amar says, we are better playing with 10 men than with Jones. Well, we'd be 0-0 if we were. And Jim Dog the man, Calamity Jones sums up the season so far. Pathetic from the board to the players, lost the passion, all pinching and living with the exception of a few. The thing is, it's hard to keep your head up when you've got a clown at the back like that who's cost you 2 goals. I mean, he's going for a hat-trick, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's cost us 2 goals. He was at fault for the first one, and
the clearance.
He's 100% at fault for the second one, isn't he? There's nowhere to hide. Get some get some fucking football boots on your feet instead of wearing your white socks, you clown. I'm furious.
I mean, obviously, I'm absolutely positive I saw Romero give him a shout in the replay, and then Phil Jones is there on the ground with his arms out as if to say, like, well, why didn't you collect it? So, again, the communication, the changing of the back four again, the changing of the centre-backs, it just doesn't create consistency at all.
Rashford's coming on after 56 minutes here. Mourinho's about to end somebody's career here. I don't think it's going to be Lukaku. I think he's going to take Pereira off.
I think he's going to go Fred.
Fred or Pereira, and basically that's the end of them. You're taking someone off after 56 minutes. Bad performance or not, I think it's a shame. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Very interesting times at Manchester United at the moment. We're not going anywhere. We'll stick through it somehow. I'll tell you what, it's Fred. Fred off after 56 minutes.
But see, what is the point of bringing on Rashford? Why can't he chuck on Greenwood? I just don't get it. 2-0 down, chasing the game. There's no point in risking Rashford, especially with Sunday coming up. No point whatsoever. He should have chucked Greenwood on, go with the 2 up front, 2 out-and-out strikers. Stupid. And yeah, he's kicked Fred to the curb again. Fred might as well have just stood there on the sideline, opened his legs and let Mourinho kick his bollocks in. Absolutely disgusting.
He don't know, you know what? Fred was crap, but Mourinho doesn't know how to use him.
No, he was. Yeah, he was crap. Yeah, I'm not saying he was good, but there is such a thing as like you're not exactly going to win the game now. I don't think. But you've got a big game coming up on Sunday, and you know Rashford and Martial are going to play. Hopefully, we think. But yeah, he's took him off. I think that comes into the poor management thing again. It's a shame. It is a shame. I mean, Fred, agreed, has been nowhere near as good tonight as what we've seen. But how are these players supposed to build up their confidence and feel wanted in this team? Rashford's picking up the ball from the midfield. Now, surely he should be out on the left wing or right wing. Xavier Daniels says he's surprised he didn't take Pereira off. Yeah. He literally has no clue, says Mindstorm.
Abilishala Tucker, Phil Jones, an assist and a goal. What a player. Yeah, you can't knock it.
Absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. I think we're guaranteed for Ashley Young to start now on Sunday. The only question would be for me, who's going to start at the right back position. I don't think he's going to put Delo in there.
No.
So who are we left with? Darmian and Valencia, aren't it? Me Hall says man of the match, Phil Jones. I think so at the minute, yeah. I think he's been a cracking player for the opposition tonight. Greenwood on the bench, says Wengy Simmons. Yeah, he is. I wouldn't bank on him coming on now, though. We've only got the one change left.
Oh dear, the life of a United fan. Look, we've had it so good for so long, and I've said this before, you know, you've got to take the good with the bad, but what always irritates me about the bad is that it shouldn't have never been this bad. I don't mind United not winning titles. Well, obviously I do because I want to win titles, but what irritates me is, and I suppose Liverpool fans would probably echo this, is that, you know, when you had your good times, it's the complacency of the board and the managers that we've had since then that it never should have got this bad. It never should have got. All I want is a decent coach that plays the United way. I'm not demanding that we win titles. I just want the team to play the United way. And I mean, what we're getting at the moment, it's like a kick in the nuts and then one up the arse as well. It really is, because it's like we're not playing the United way and we're playing crap. You're like, I don't mind. If we play the United way, we'll play better anyway. But I'm not demanding that we win titles. I think we're probably a long way from winning titles. But what I want to see is just us play the United way.
Yeah. To be honest, mate, I wouldn't even go that far. I just want to see us play football, to be honest. Because what I've been watching this season is not football. It's hit and hope. There's no style of play to us, and you know, when you're being outclassed away from home by near enough a reserve side in Valencia, there's trouble. There's trouble.
Absolutely played us off the park. Howard Walters says, so what's our tactics? Long balls, just have two guys run forward, let our strikers do the crossing, pass it to the keeper, boot upfield, we look stupid. Exactly. I mean, people want to go in on Pogba, people want to go in on Fred, they want to go in Pereira. You know, even Lukaku, I'll stick up for him. The tactics are terrible. Red Jedi says, people realise that Jose is allowed to improve players, right? He doesn't have to just buy until he gets 11, 30-year-olds. Spot on. This is the thing, it's like, this is Valencia, is it? Oh, look at Lukaku again.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Just can't hold the ball up. You know, now Rashford's on to produce... Well, you know, we're looking for a moment of brilliance, aren't we? Fucking embarrassed. But, as I said before, this game's gone. But I wouldn't be surprised if we get something against Liverpool. I know every bit of logic says we're going to get stuffed, but, you know, it's like, if we did get stuffed by Liverpool on Sunday, how does he stay in a job? Oh, he's done it again. Phil Jones has done it again. They nearly scored. Falling on his arse. Put some football boots on. That's why you keep slipping. You're wearing a pair of white socks. Can't stay on his feet.
Such a joker. Oh, dear.
They're doing little flicks now.
You just can't. There's nothing at all that you can say to defend this, this performance or individual performances. It's just absolutely awful.
We're doing little bloody triangle passes in our own half now. Good running by Pereira here. Good. Oh, nearly got Lukaku in. Probably held on that a little bit too long.
I'm surprised that lad's still on the pitch, to be honest.
Yeah, he won't be on for much longer, will he? Lingard will be warming up.
Yeah. And then it's virtually Jose's favourites out there, isn't it? Really.
Why is Lukaku not busting his gut there? I thought it was a free kick. He just stops.
Awful.
I don't think Lukaku's anywhere near fitness. I think he's carrying too much muscle, like he said, like we've been saying for ages. Stephen Featley says, I'm better than Jones and I've had 6 liver transplants. You probably are, Stephen. And Steve Cumberland says, I'm worried about this club. Where do we go from here? Exactly.
Well, I think change has to come sooner rather than later.
They don't want to do it because it's all about the money.
Do you know
We're not
what,
a football
Mark?
club, we're a bloody business.
I'm very much like you, mate. I'm very much old school in how you go about voicing opinions and stuff like that. But if the board are all about the money, the only way to make them see is by boycotting the games and banners and stuff like that. As much as I don't agree with it, something has got to give.
I'll tell you what, Flex is at the game. There's however many 100 or 1,000 United fans at the game. I can't wait to see the fan cams go up tonight. Because these fans are very, very loyal to the club and they stick by the club. But what have they had tonight? There's not been anything. You wouldn't even want to go downstairs to watch this game, let alone get on a plane and go to Valencia. They've not had anything to be joyous about. There's nothing to be proud of. It's a shambles from start to finish. D. Ballard says Jones has 1 assist and a goal, man of the match. Yeah, I agree, mate. But, seriously, I can't wait to see the fan cams tonight because unless we do something in the next 25 minutes, they've gone all that way for what?
Yeah. And still only 1 attempt at goal.
Yeah. Well, we don't create chances, do we?
No, we don't. And again, that's because we're not playing attacking football. You can't go away to these teams and just sit there and park the bus. No matter if it's a dead rubber game, there's nothing dependent on it. I mean, I absolutely thought there was not a chance in hell the young boys would beat Juventus, but they are at the minute. So surely Mourinho must have said something about that at half time. If he needed to give the players a lift, surely he must have said, look, young boys are beating Juventus, there's a chance for us to go, top the group. And the way they started the second half, Phil Jones, it's as if he just thought, well, sod that, I'd rather finish second. You just don't know what they're thinking.
Deirdre Riggs says, get this bell end out my club, it's embarrassing. And Shankar Tamang says, Lukaku said bulking up for the World Cup has hurt his form. How does bulking up affect his shit first touch? And Felk Keld says, Jose puts Fellaini as our lone playmaker. Why exactly? And old Brownie, every time Ross undervalues the competition, kick in the teeth. Yeah, at least I'm. And Sergio Hernandez says, imagine this is the team that shows up at Anfield. Well, it won't be this team, but it'll be the same bloody tactics, won't it? Valencia just shoot over the bar. I was right. Everyone was really positive, but what did I say? It doesn't matter how much you like some of these players. If they're playing in a United system under Jose Mourinho, we ain't going to play well. Yeah. And I think a lot of people disrespected Valencia. Valencia came to Manchester United and played us off the park. And they've done it again. Jose De La Rosa says, my dead nan can play better than Phil Jones.
Yeah. And young boys are skilled a second.
Have they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell you
what an opportunity.
Imagine. I'm just glad that Fellaini got that jammy goal against young boys because this, and we got those jammy goals in Turin because this could have been a very embarrassing. We could have finished bottom of this group.
Yeah. Yeah, we could have,
yeah. Byron Hall says, tried to back Jose, but you can't argue with this. Fair play, mate.
You just look at how he treats everything. He treats everything so archaic in the way he sets things out, the way his man management is. I mean, I'll never forgive him for the way he treated Schweinsteiger. I thought that was absolutely disrespectful.
Lukaku's off for Lingard.
So what?
So no Greenwood.
No Greenwood. None. Who was the other lad? Garner, was it?
Yeah.
No. So what a waste. What a waste. 20 minutes to go, 2-0 down, and we don't see any of the youngsters. Awful. So what difference? What difference is Jesse Lingard going to make coming on for Lukaku? So Rashford will go through the middle. Lingard will go out wide. So same formation, same tactics.
I'm just taking notes for the match reaction and the call-in because there's just so many. There's so many.
Yeah, Lingard's gone out to the left. Rashford's gone through the middle. Mata's still out on the right-hand side. And, yeah. I didn't see no bits of paper or tactics exchanged between the players or anything. So it's exactly the same. Awful.
James Murray says Samat must be spinning in his grave at the state of the club. Wonder Fergie's thoughts are on it at all. We need change and to go back to our values. I think that's the most important thing. I'd give up the next manager we get. I'm willing to give him 3 years without a title at least. I think we've got to start from the bottom again and get our values right. I think you're right. I will not demand a title for the next manager. I think we're so far away from that. We're a bloody mess. We're a shambles, and I think we've just got to wipe the slates clean and start again, to be honest with you.
I don't even think there's, even if we did wipe the slate clean, managerial wise, I don't even think there's much needed because I think the main players are here already. We've got some good players there. We've got De Gea would sign a new contract, Martial would sign a new contract, Rashford would stay. You've got Delo, Bay, Pogba, Fred. I mean, that's 7 there. You don't need, a new manager wouldn't need an awful lot of money just to get these players playing properly. Pereira would come through as well. Maybe Chong, a new manager like Jardim or Pochettino, Chong might come through. So, I just think if they want to keep on spending money, then keep Mourinho. But if they want to play exciting football, then they've got to make the change. This can't go on for another, 4 or 5 months? It will just be an absolute catastrophe. Oh, Lindelof as well. Yeah, cheers for that. Yeah, Nestler. Yeah, forgot him. So the basics, the fundamentals are there already. The personnel are already there. Probably a new manager would. I'd hope he'd bring in another striker, and a natural winger. And I think really that would be it, because you would probably have Bay, Rojo, Lindelof as your main centre backs. And add on top of that Fosu Mensah, Twanzebe. Yeah, I really don't think a new manager would want an awful lot of money.
Shubik says, I've been Jose out since the Schweinsteiger bullying. Yeah, I mean, I forgot about that. There's been so much of it, hasn't there?
Yeah.
John Brooks says, I've 25 years as a fan, 20 minutes to go and turn the game off. Rather watch you guys now. Lost complete interest now. When will Jose go? Unfortunately, John, and everybody else as well, I've resigned to the fact. I've messaged Robbie Savage, everybody, so don't worry. Thanks everyone for letting me know. I'm resigned to the fact that our club is going to do what it did with Mourinho, with Moyes and Van Gaal, and that's wait till it's mathematically impossible. I think the first thing, there's 3 things United need to do. Get rid of Mourinho. Seriously need to start putting some pressure on this board, because it's unacceptable that they were going to sack him against Newcastle and they decided not to. And that mistake will cost us Champions League football. And then when we've done those 2 things, we need to just get back to our roots and start playing football, promoting youth, and get the right manager in to do that. But Mourinho's got to go. The board needs to bloody be sorted out. You can't run this club like a business and not a football club. You can't wait to sack people to save 15 million quid. No. Get some proper football people on that board, because it's a disgrace. And then thirdly, we need to sort out actually what's going on the pitch, but we won't do that. Well, nearly 3. Jose De La Rosa says, every day our club value goes down and no players want to play for the shirt. It's an absolute disgrace already, with Banter Jones representing us. And Brian Pollock says, resting Lukaku for Liverpool game, I'm sure. Yeah, probably. Can you just keep an eye out on the super chats, Marcus? I'm just making sure that I've got me match reaction set up as well, so I'm just not
did
you live comments.
Did you read Red Jedi's?
I think so.
Yeah. So just in case you didn't,
no, I didn't.
Red Jedi with a contribution. Thanks for that, mate. It says, Jose Innes, can you please give us 3 reasons why Jose should be here next season without bringing up signings and his CV? That'd be a good one. Look forward to the
good shot from Pereira here. Look,
hell of a shot.
If you're Mourinho in, it's your opinion, isn't it? And I know some top Reds who are Mourinho in, but I've been saying for a while now, I've got total courage in my conviction and my opinion when I state it. Otherwise, what's the point in living if you don't believe in what you say? And I've been saying for a number of weeks now, it's fine if you're Mourinho in, just give us a bloody reason why you're Mourinho in, or is it just some stubbornness that you think it's good for your reputation to say you're Mourinho in? I don't get it. I don't see anything that's there other than hope and praying. There's no logical reason to be Jose Mourinho, and everything points to the fact that he ain't good enough.
Yeah. David C with a contribution. Thanks. Says Jose dream team for Sunday: the Calamity, United, Romero, Darmian, Smalling, Jones, Young, Matic, Fellaini, McTominay, Mata, Lingard, Lukaku. What a joke! If that was the team for Sunday, mate, he should be sacked before the game kicks off, to be honest. He wouldn't be able to get away with playing that sort of team against Liverpool. No way.
It's like me and Ross were talking, remember we are live an hour before every game with the team news and a chat before, and we were both talking about the Liverpool game, and we both said the reality is that if a draw, many people would say is a good result, but actually if we draw, because of what the teams above us are doing, is we'll be 10 points off fourth. A draw isn't even a good result, and even if we somehow manage to scam a win, we will still be 8 points off fourth anyway. So that's how bad the season is now. A result in that game is not even going to be a result.
Yeah. Robert Moore with a contribution. Thank you. It says, what does the board see in our performance that makes them hold on to Jose? He's wasted 400 million and yet we haven't cleared the deadwood at the club. Fantastic comment. I think that's first and foremost there. I think before you spend money, you've got to get rid of what you don't want, for me. And then you spend the money to fill the gaps. But it's just a shame that a lot of Jose's signings have not been the quality signings we expect. Jasmine says sack him now. Harpeak Singh says we're going to lose 4-0 at Anfield. Phil Jones is down. Hopefully he stays down. Oh dear.
Well, that'll be his hat-trick. An assist, a goal and an injury.
Yeah. To be fair, all he's done is just go for the ball, fall on his arse.
Oh dear. Where will it end? I really do sort of feel like that now. It's not even, like I say, you can't rant when you expect something. I expect poor performances. I expect bad tactics. I expect Phil Jones mistakes. I don't think Jose Mourinho's got off his arse, has he? Has anybody actually spotted him get up?
No, I've not seen him get up at all. Got another contribution from Peter Abate. Thanks for that. It says, don't feel bad, my team is losing 2-0 to Young Boys. So he's a Juventus fan. And another contribution from Jamie. Thank you. It says 5 out of 11 starters don't belong in our kit, much less in our first team. Bad tactics plus bad personnel choices. Yeah, I think I said that at the start of the game. I think young players, it looked fresh and energy, but they're in the wrong positions. Lackland Roker Hayes, I hope I said that right. Thanks for the contribution. It says Mourinho, a waste of space. Wanted to see the youth. You weren't the only one. And
yeah. Some people will say you can't chuck Mason Greenwood into a game like that, but I disagree.
Shiraz Kamaf Fitness, thanks for the contribution. It says Pep plays Foden and Jose plays his ego. Good point. Yeah. Jose just picks the teams, not wanting to be proved wrong. I think that's the way it's going at the minute. Jose will show us the 3 fingers soon, says KA. Vigard Olesen, thanks for the contribution, mate. Keep Metal Alive 100. Thanks for your contribution. It says vote of no confidence. Yep, I'll vote for you. I'll vote for that. Oh dear. And George Kyle says stunning goal by Dybala. So Juventus have just scored. Such a shame the way we've approached the game tonight. Great opportunity to bring some of the young blood through, and he's totally ignored it. Totally ignored it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, guys. Bottom right hand corner. Click the bell so you get notifications as well.
Sorry, everybody, for my silence. I just went into. I was just listening to Marcus there, and like it was, I wasn't doing the show anymore. I was just like in a pity of despair and depression. Just literally, you probably can see me live. Actually, you can't you? I'm just like, I'm looking around, thinking, what the fuck is going
on? Yeah, a few people in the comments saying should have put Greenwood on. Totally agree. Totally agree. Wasted opportunity. You could have brought him on. There was no need to bring Rashford on. No need. Well, actually, do you know what? There was no need to bring Lingard on either, really. You could have put the youngsters on. The game's lost. Give them 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and see how they fared.
Yeah. Oh dear. Try and give us a bit of positivity. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner. Get involved with the United Stand. We will still be going live every night at 8 o'clock. We'll still be doing transfer shows, previews. We've got Liverpool on Sunday. Merry Christmas.
Few people saying...
Get me the whiskey.
Someone's tweeted you, Mark, or something.
Robbie Savage, yeah.
Yeah.
Wants me to follow him.
Yeah. Ooh.
I don't do begs, though.
Hmm?
I don't follow people just for a beg.
But it's sad.
Yeah. Nah, he's alright, isn't he?
I do like Robbie Savage. I like watching him on the transfer deadline day.
You're not thinking of Jim White, are you?
No. I remember the BT advert where Sav came out in the yellow suit.
Oh yeah. I don't. To be honest, I don't watch a lot of pundit stuff. To be honest, I find it. Although I do think BT have got the best. I do like maybe because of Ferdinand and Scholes, and Savage is all right as well.
Yeah. I do listen to him quite a bit on the weekends. Is it 606?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I do like some of the things he says. Good luck at Anfield, says Angelis. Thank you. I think we need a miracle and a prayer as well. Oh dear.
Yeah, mate. You're not the only one.
Yeah. So United again. Yeah, even with the changes, nothing. Yeah, the tactics are still the same. Absolutely still the same. Showbick with a contribution. Thanks for that. It says Jose knows he's going to get sacked. Why not try something different? I remember his Porto team attacked the hell out of us in 2003 in the Champions League game. Yeah, exactly. Great opportunity for him. Great opportunity for him to bring some youngsters in, just to give our fans something, a glimpse of the future. But he hasn't done it. Jason Cleverley as well with a contribution. Thank you. Says, heard a rumour Real have an agreement in principle to have Jose as boss in May. They can have him now, as I want him out of our club now. I think a lot of people are feeling that way as well. You're not the only one.
Well, if that was the case, then he should be kicked out anyway.
Yeah.
We're not second best to anybody, are we? Well, obviously we are. We're sixth, aren't we? But you know what I mean. We're Manchester United, for God's sake.
Yeah. We shouldn't have to suffer this mediocre crap. And the away fans, that's home and away, always there, no matter where they are. I think everyone deserves better than this. Everyone. I mean, again, I've still not seen an attempt at goal in the second half. The changes haven't made any difference.
This is what I mean. This is why, in a sadistic way, I'm looking forward to watching the fan cams because, obviously Flex is over there in Valencia. He's had a nice sunny day. At least he's had that. But there'll be fans that he'll be speaking to after the game. I can't wait to see what they've got to say. Because when you've travelled that far and spent that much money to spend 90 minutes watching this crap, and actually, you know what? Yeah, you can say Pogba's not been great. But Lingard and Rashford haven't really done anything either, have they?
No, that's what I mean. The changes haven't had the impact that they normally would because the tactics have stayed the same, stale. Silent but deadly. No, I don't think it would, mate. I don't think it would be unfair. Not at all.
What's that?
Would it be unfair to sack Mourinho now? No, I don't think so.
He's offside.
I think he warrants having the sack.
Unfair to sack Mourinho now? Bloody hell. I mean, I think it's unfair to keep him, surely. It's a disgrace.
James Miller with a contribution. Thank you. It says, hopefully we get Barcelona next and get ruined. I'm feeling like that. I want a tough team. I do want a tough team in the round 16.
Well, it might, there's a slim chance that if we did pull out a Barcelona or a Real Madrid or a PSG, that the club might think, well, we're definitely not going to win that. We're not going to get top four. Let's make the change now. But I don't think that will be the case.
Kisselay, thanks for the contribution. It says amazing.
Go! Rashford! 2-1. I tell you what, if we get anything back from this game, then we really don't deserve it. But as you say, Marcus, you like it from behind, so does United. And we do tend to get...
Without the lube as well.
Yeah.
I totally missed that goal, so I was reading the super chat. Kisselay says, amazed that Jose is still breathing fresh air. Thanks for the contribution. A17 FIFA, thank you. It says Phil Jones is a joke, would rather John O'Shea. Jordan Sidhu, thanks for the contribution, mate, much appreciated. Dominski, thank you. It says I'm arguing with a bunch of delusional fans and it's giving me a headache.
Mate, you're going to get more of a headache in a minute because what would you really bet against United either drawing or winning this game now? And again, we'll just be like, oh yeah, he's the man. He's the man because Valencia have had this game won and they've took their foot off the pedal really, and now we're going to try hard in the last 5 minutes. It's just, I'm bored of it. I'm really, I'm pleased Rashford scored because I want Rashford to break Rooney's record.
That was a good header as well, actually.
But
that was a good header. Something Rashford gives us that Lukaku doesn't.
Yeah, 100%.
James O'Hay with a contribution. Sorry, Mark, I'm reading these out. Do you want to do?
No, I'm not even looking at the moment. I'm having to
James
change the
O'Hay,
scores all over again now.
Thank you for the contribution, James. It says tactics are non-existent, different lineup every week, plays the deadwood and has agendas against our only good players. Joke. Totally agree. He only seems to pick on the flair players and the young ones. The Mers with a contribution, thank you. It says Bobby Robson documentary on Netflix was excellent.
It was brilliant.
Definitely made me like Jose and Pep more, but Jose is so far from his mentor. And I think we are all caught up.
Yeah, thanks for the contributions, everyone. And please do subscribe. Let's see if we can get up to 213,000. I mean, Manchester United will probably get a draw out of this, but to be honest with you, does it really? I mean...
Adil Farouk's made a contribution as well. Thanks. He says, I will be distraught if we don't beat you Sunday. Take it you must be a Liverpool fan. So I think I'd be distraught, mate, if you didn't beat us, to be honest. Contribution from Liam Walker. Thank you. It says, Chelsea fan here. Just a quick question. If you're in charge of Man United, do you think you'd be able to handle it and keep up with the responsibilities or just give up like Jose has? That's interesting. What do you reckon, Mark?
What's that?
Would you be able to handle the responsibilities at Man United if you were in charge, or would you just give up like Jose?
I don't think Jose's going to give up simply because of the money, isn't he?
Yeah.
Mata nearly equalised then. Lovely little chip through by Pogba, and Mata misses a golden opportunity. I thought he'd bounced it in. I mean, United could well end up getting a draw out of this game, which is just hilarious, isn't it? He's well onside as well. It's a lovely little chip by Pogba, and Mata, who's got all the technique in the world, just doesn't quite connect on it, and we would have scabbed a draw.
Shubik made another contribution. Thank you. Says Jose 2018 is a poor man's Jose 2003-2004. He's a shadow of his former self. He really is. A lot of fake scores I'm trying to get rid of here, mate.
No, don't worry about it.
And we're all caught up.
So we're just about hitting 90 minutes. There's going to be 3 added on. Marcus, who would be your man of the match for United? Or what's your thoughts on the game, I suppose?
The thoughts are, it's only really the last 10 minutes we've decided to come out and play football and even have an attacking intent. First half was absolutely diabolical. One of the worst first halves I've ever seen from United since Sir Alex retired. I thoroughly expected United to win this game. Obviously, it's not happening. But I think it's really poor. I don't think anyone could take any confidence, any positives out of this game. It's just been an absolute shower of shit, to be honest. And I feel sorry for the fans that have gone out there to watch it. We all deserve better. The substitutions he didn't need to make. I don't think it's helped at all. Maybe just get a few minutes in Rashford and Lingard because they'll probably start Sunday. But in terms of trying to win the game, what was wrong with chucking Greenwood on? Nothing. There was nothing wrong with putting that boy on for 15-20 minutes. Nothing at all. And I think he's missed a golden opportunity there to try and win some fans over. I've not seen him come out into the technical area, Mourinho, and it just looks like he just wanted to get this game done and out of the way and no injuries. Man of the match, do you know what? I'm hard pressed to find one, to be honest. For the banter, you'd have to say Phil Jones with a goal and an assist. I don't know. I suppose Bay's been pretty decent. I suppose not. But again, Mata has been okay in the second half. No one's really played well in the first half, so it's really hard. But I'd go for Bay, to be honest. I don't see anything he's done wrong. He wasn't at fault for any of the goals. He's cleared his lines well. He stayed with his runners. So yeah, for me, man of the match from United's point of view would be Bay.
See, Pogba's suddenly in the last since we've gone for it, Pogba's played really well. And what a surprise that Pogba in a defensive team has played badly. But
this is the story, though, Mark. When we start attacking, you start to see the quality of the players that we've got.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show that our attacking players are not defensive minded. You just can't change them. You really can't change them. Yeah.
It's over for Manchester United. I wish it was over for Jose Mourinho. My match reaction, the link is in the video description. That's where I'm going to be talking to you next. But thanks for coming on, Marcus.
Always, mate. Pleasure as always. Thanks for everyone in the comments, and hope you enjoyed it, everyone. And I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, cheers, pal. And then I'm going to be live with the match reaction. The link's in the video description. Let's just get straight on it and let's crack on with the show. I'll be live there in 30 seconds with you. Absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? We nearly scammed it at the end, but I'm actually glad we didn't, which is I've never said before. I'm absolutely glad that we didn't. I'll see you on the match reaction. I've got loads to say. I'll see you there in 30 seconds. Link in the video description or go through the homepage. Let's go for it.